And you thought we were done with Tartarus with the last video. Welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3. You know, I never really planned it this way, but it does feel like Persona 3 Portable does not get as much love or attention throughout these videos. And you know what? Here's an opportunity to correct that at least a little bit, as we have a Portable exclusive side quest, the Vision Quest. We've briefly gone over what this is when it first became available at the start of January. There are several doors that allow us to refight the full moon shadows in stronger forms that make them more comparable to the stuff that we're already fighting in the endgame, as well as several puzzle bosses to go through. There is a separate reward for clearing all of these, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take on all of the full moon shadows in order, and then I will go over strategies to defeat the puzzle bosses. Luckily, I have a guide that has a very handy turn order shall we say, schedule or order list to just follow that, and you'll be able to defeat this boss, no problem. I'll link it in the description if you're playing this for yourself and want to check it out. Just real quickly to go over our setup, as per always in Persona 3 Portable, I will mostly be sticking to the ladies, but there is a rub to some of these doors. We have to fight the shadows with parties that we had access to at the time they were available. That means that Junpei and Akihiko will be mandatory to use, so that's why I bothered to catch them up in levels a little bit. I just figured level 60 would be good enough, so that's where I stopped with Akihiko. Junpei, I was already in the process of leveling up while grabbing the rest of the lady's skills, so he got a few extra, and he'll probably be the one that we use in the Hierophant and Lovers fight, and Akihiko can just warm the bench, even though his skills would probably be more useful to that fight. I'll also be starting every battle with Sibylle equipped, of course, so that we're getting those full team buffs in effect, because that makes this a lot more simplistic. This is also one of the few times I bothered to remember to get the Femce's condition into Great before doing anything, because it's a little bit of extra damage and defense to make the going a little bit easier. Anyway, you can hear something from inside the door with the Priestess mask drawn on it. Hall of the Giant Shadow, number 2, the Priestess. Party conditions, and this is where the game lays out the characters that you can use. Remember, at the time when we fought the Priestess, we only had access to ourselves, Junpei, and Yukari. No bringing Akihiko, no bringing Aigis, no bringing anybody but the people that you had here. So we'll add Junpei, and we will add Yukari, and we will get into it. Fortunately, this fight is really, really damn easy, and in fact, the first few encounters with these shadows are going to be pretty easy in a very predictable way. Remember how we have a skill? Oh man, it's been forever and a minute since we've had Mitsuru navigating for us. It's practically nostalgic at this point. But remember that we have a electric skill that shocks anything, no matter what. If it is not immune to electric, well, we're just going to pop off with Thunder Rain. And yeah, as you can see, we've got more than enough strength to beat this lady down, then go in for critical hits and repeated all-out attacks. And this is kind of going to be the theme of the first few fights that we get into, especially because we have the Velvel Maruga on the Femce. So that boosts our all-out attack damage quite a bit. Once we're able to work Mitsuru in, we'll also have her with her Snow Queen's Whip adding to that damage, so it's going to be pretty solid. Upon clearing a full moon shadow door, you get a reward from several sets. Most of these doors have 3 sets of rewards they can give you, though some have less than that. The first possible reward we can get from the Priestess, and there is a bit of randomization to this, you won't always necessarily get this reward, is a card that teaches Absorb Slash. Pretty nice. The other potential rewards we can get are 10 copies of Best Friends, which after a certain point, I will want to do that in a separate file to have those for a fight later, as well as just buy a lot of those from the antique shop. We can also get 20 opals, and if the game happens to roll a reward set that we've already gotten, it'll either give you 5 opals or 1 opals. If you want to get a bunch of growth 3 cards, door is a pretty good way of doing that, because you can trade those opals for growth 3 cards, and as you saw, this fight is very, very easy to win with Thunder Rain. Alright, on to the next door. You can hear something from inside the door with the Empress and the Emperor masks drawn on it. How unusual. And again, we have limitations for this fight. We cannot use Yukari this time. We must subtract Yukari and instead bring in Akihiko. This fight is almost as much of a layup as the previous one, though for slightly different reasons. Oh, whoops, I forgot to equip Sibylle. That's okay, that's just a minor damage drop, not the end of the world. We'll still...
I'll try and find out the enemy's weakness. Just let me know when.
Okay, I forgot that Fuka was there. She caught me off guard. So that's a slight efficiency drop, but it shouldn't matter too much. As you remember, they are weak to, in this version of the game, they are just weak to specific, or what am I trying to say here? The Empress is weak to all physical elements. The Emperor is weak to all magical elements, so it is very easy to set them up for all-out attacks and win that way. It's a bit unfortunate that I forgot to add Ado Matarukaja into the mix, but that is just a mistake that I will have to live down. We should still win within 3 all-out attacks, so it is ultimately not that big a deal. Junpei and Akihiko, because I'm only going to be using them for these first few fights, they are just loaded out with equipment that I happened to get while exploring Tartarus. It should be good enough. Hopefully, they do not actually survive this next all-out attack. That would be a pretty big goof from me if they did that. Akihiko doing a little bit better there with his normal attacks because he's got golden gloves. He's able to pick that up from a rare chest, giving him a pretty good boost in power. If I had the auto Matarukaja in effect like I was supposed to, this fight would have been much more of a layup. There we go. Still more than enough to finish them off, though. Oh, the Emperor has recovered. He's going for a Vorpal Blade here, but I am not overly concerned about that. Looked like it was pretty scary for Akihiko there, but he endured. Remember, in Persona 3 Portable, when... oh, there goes the Emperor. When characters gain their new persona, their upgraded persona, they also gain an innate Endure passive, making them a bit better than the FemC in that regard. For defeating that fight, we get an Absorb Strike as one of our rewards, and 20 Garnets as the other. This is a door that only has 2 sets of rewards. If you happen to roll a repeat set, you'll either get 5 Garnets or 1 Garnets. If you want to get anything that requires Garnets to purchase, this is the way to go about farming a ton of Garnets. Unfortunately, there's nothing here that gives you a bunch of Onyxes, which actually is pretty unfortunate. You can hear something from inside the door with the Hierophant mask drawn on it. Now, I'm actually going to back up a little bit here. Let's just cancel real quick, and we're going to look at our equipment in depth, because going forward, we're not quite able to use Aigis yet, but we will be slotting her in soon enough. We're going to be using the FemC, Yukari, Mitsuru, and Aigis as we have been. Both the FemC and Yukari are rocking the... Man, it's so different how you have to check your equipment. Both rocking the Tomes of the Void, so they'll be immune to ailments, which is very helpful for the upcoming battles where ailments are going to be spammed against us. And again, remember that Mitsuru now has her Snow Queen Whip. I also decided to give her Blazing Flame instead of the Ice Bracers, just to give her a bit more defensive pop. Most of the damage is going to be coming out from setups from the FemC at this point, so that's why I'm not overly concerned about what's going on with Mitsuru over there. With that addressed, let's do a little bit of party reshuffling here. We're actually going to subtract both Junpei and Akihiko. I'm going to add Junpei back in, but I want my team to be in a very particular order here. So let's add in Mitsuru, then let's go back and add Junpei back in to have him at the end, just in case that matters. It probably will not, but I like to have these things set up just in such a particular way. Anyways, I forget if the Hierophant is vulnerable. Oh, that is a mistake. I did not think to check. Mitsuru seems to be sick. We might have to fix that. I actually did check everybody's status before coming in here, and Fuka said everybody was good to go, so clearly the game was misleading me there. I'll have to see. Okay, yeah, I was thinking that, but that's not a big deal. This means we're in for a bit of a slower and grindier battle, but that's what I got Junpei prepared with better damage for. I'm otherwise not too threatened by what this guy can do. Man, that's so annoying how Fuka doesn't tell you that people are sick. That's the whole reason I asked her. Check on everybody's condition. Again, it's not a big deal, but as you can see, Mitsuru's gonna run into some problems. We're going to have Junpei just stick to using Brave Blades here. Unfortunately, unlike future iterations of the skill, in Persona 3 FES and Portable, ooh, there goes all my stat boosts. That is A-okay, though. Unlike future iterations of Persona 3, like Reload, Brave Blade does not have additional chance to crit, which is pretty unfortunate. Anyways, let me see here. I know I have somebody who has Mataru Kaja, so we're gonna look into getting our attack buffs back up, because this will be a pretty long fight otherwise. I also have Seth as an option for setting up Marakunda. Let me see, not you, Raphael. That's just a generic version. Do I have it on? I could have sworn I had something with Mataru Kaja. I might have made a mistake and forgot to pick up something with Mataru Kaja. Well, Seth using Marakunda is good enough, so we'll just do that instead. I have backups. That's 2 gaffes that I made there. I could have sworn that was something Fuka would tell me if I asked her what everybody's status was, but unfortunately, Fuka decided to not be particularly helpful in that regard, which is actually going to be pretty unfortunate for this fight, because Mitsuru is going to be throwing out, yeah, way less damage. She has way more magic power than Yukari at this point, but she's still throwing out pretty underwhelming damage. I was supposed to use Maraku Kaja there also, so several things going wrong here, but that is A-okay. And we've got some fear coming in from Prophecy of Ruin, but I'm actually not at all pressed about that because, well, we've got Yukari right there, immune to ailments and able to use Mepatra in order to cure the ailments. I might actually have to just stop this recording and get to this point again where Mitsuru is not sick, because that is actually a pretty big setback for me here. It's going to cause my fighting to be a lot slower. Oh well, these mistakes happen sometimes, and that's where it gets interesting, is when we have to roll with these kind of things. Regardless, and she keeps missing too. Yeah, all your stats go down when you are sick. It is not good, not good. She's also going to get absolutely pasted by any attack thrown her way. We will persevere, though. We will persevere. Here comes another Prophecy of Ruin, which I am not overly pressed about. Because, again, we have complete blanket immunity to it on 2 of our characters, so I can pretty much just grind this guy down with repeated Ragnaroks. As you can see, 760 damage a pop, more than enough to take this guy down. If Mitsuru could actually hit attacks and do good damage in the process, that would be so much the better, but we're not exactly that lucky, I'm afraid. So we're just going to have to... Oh my goodness, she has missed almost every single attack she has launched thus far. We're seeing in real time the effects of having a sick character. Like, come on, Fuka, why couldn't you tell me that she was sick? I would have come on a different night. Yukari is still equipped. Oof, yeah, and there's a... I honestly almost would have been better off not bringing her to this fight. Oof. But yeah, we're seeing that problem just be a thing. What I was going to say is that I'm almost better off not bringing her to this fight because of that, because just everything is weak about her. Let's see here. Do I have any items on hand that I can just have her use those as a means to just pad out our attacking options? I don't really think so. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't... It's actually kind of difficult to check that, because my only option for getting informed of that would be if I actually talked to her in the main Tartarus lobby, which there wasn't really any reason to do, because I can modify my party from here. Frustrating. We will, again, just persevere. Here comes another Prophecy of Ruin, but this is a turn where I have to reset my defense debuff anyway, so I'm not overly concerned about that. Let's get that posted back up on this boss. Let me see. Where is Seth again? There he is. I have to get used to... That's another thing that I have to get used to, going from FES to portable is that when you equip a persona in portable, they go to the top of your stock and then move down by 1 every time you switch to something different. It is not the case in Persona 3 FES, where they have a set position in your stock if they are not equipped, and that's where they go back to. That's actually caused me some problems in the bonus boss, because I misread the names of 2 Persona that were right next to each other, and goodness gracious. Again, it's almost like I shouldn't have brought her to the fight at all. She's dying 1,000 deaths here. Possibly literally, depending on if this guy hits her. That is okay, though. Yep, there goes Mitsuru, and Junpei is hanging in there. Ugh, I really should have checked that. My B on that one, that was a complete misfire on my part, but it's okay. Is it even worth it to bring her back in? It's kind of silly, honestly. Oh well. Let's go with a Hierophant from Yukari. Keep everyone nice and healthy here. Not sure where that's going to put Mitsuru in the turn order, actually. We'll have to see if Yawn Begons can solve this problem for Mitsuru, because we can definitely take her out of the tired status with those, but I forget if they actually cure sickness also. The optimist in me wants to say that they do. Ugh. Yeah, it's just not worth it to keep trying to bring Mitsuru back in. She's been missing every single attack that she's launched anyway, so it's not looking too good for Mitsuru. Bit of a poor start to the fight where we actually get her in. This is a turn from a informative video to a comedic one really fast. That's okay, these things happen. Fortunately, with Mitsuru out, we still have the turn order going in a way that allows me to keep everyone more or less alive. If Junpei could score some crits here, I wonder if Elect Break would work on this guy. That'd be an interesting option to try. Yeah. I could also go for Vorpal Blades from Siegfried, because those will deal full damage, but, sorry, my nose is getting a little sniffly here. Those would deal full damage. They have a chance to crit, but they don't really have a boosted crit rate. Could also just wing physical attacks with Velvel Maruga, which would still do pretty decent damage. I'm actually going to have Junpei just do a normal attack here, just in case this guy goes for an attack. Defense has reverted. Deikuja coming out from him. Honestly, it's kind of beneficial when he does that, because it wastes his turn. Allows me to set up his, reset up the, defense buff from Junpei without having to suffer a turn where he is in a weakened state. There we go. And for once, we can actually have Yukari wing an attack. Not that it's really that helpful. This is kind of something that I've talked about earlier in the LP. Despite her high magic stat, because she has no innate access to damage augmenting passives, Yukari's damage is much lower than you'd hope. Mitsuru and Akihiko genuinely do a lot better in that regard, just because they have access to those passives. There goes our defense buffs again, but that is not really something I'm overly concerned about. So another Ragnarok. If I run out of SP, I can just switch over to Siegfried and start winging Vorpal Blades, which isn't quite as much damage, but it's still pretty good. The really big problem, of course, would be running out of SP to maintain the defense debuff, but again, also not really that big a deal. Alright, let's get that Marakakasha up again. If he wants to keep wasting his turns on dispelling that, by all means, he can do that. Alright, I remember another thing that I was supposed to say that I did not mention earlier, which is, of course, since she's not getting knocked on her ass, as you can tell, Yukari has her weakness patched out with a weapon. Important thing to have for a fight like this. Let's do another Hierophant here. And if we can get Mitsuru cured of her sickness after this battle, she'll do much better in the next one. I was just demonstrating the really serious deleterious effects sickness has on your character's efficacy. Totally. Okay, and we don't have to worry about the debuff expiring, so we're good to just pop off again with another Ragnarok. Okay, not quite. Oh, never mind, yes it is. Alrighty, so, that was a slight disaster there, but we persevered. Ah, goodness gracious. For our efforts, we get 10 Adari. You can also, of course, get the Absorb Pierce card from this, 20 Sapphires, and if you happen to re-roll a reward that you've already gotten, you can get 5 Sapphires or 1 Sapphire. This is the fight for grinding out Sapphires. Pretty good for that purpose, in fact. Is there a healing clock in here, or do we have to go back to the lobby to use that? I think we have to go back to the lobby to use that. Real quick, though, it's been a while since we've had to think about these, but our Yawn-Begons here, can we use that to treat Mitsuru's sickness? No, we cannot. Okay, I'm gonna have to actually make a bit of a switch up here. Hold on one second. Alright, I just left Tartarus and came back the next day, and now Mitsuru is good, but like an idiot, I selected the wrong option at B Blue V, and don't have the great condition for the Femc anymore. Whatever, we need some levity in this video to make things more entertaining. You can hear something from inside the door with the Lover's Mask. How novel. Okay. Fortunately, this fight is going to be much easier regardless of anything, because this time we have, a thing that is not immune to Thunder Rain, so we can just pop off with that and take it down. We're going to be going with the same party formation again, and let me make sure I have Sibylle equipped. Almost blundered in once again without Sibylle. Man, I am just in rare form today. Can you tell I'm kind of doing this as a spur-of-the-moment thing? I even thought to ask Fuka if everyone was okay, and she only tells you if everyone's available to go. She does not give a crap if they are not feeling well.
It's the source of the mind manipulation.
Thank you, Fuka. Thank you. Let's just get this underway. We'll go with the Thunder Rain here. Mitsuru, when her turn comes around, she'll have 100% accuracy to whack this thing with the Snow Queen's Whip, if she even needs to, really, to. And when the enemy has no evasion, Yukari is indeed incapable of missing, which, you know, I'm happy for her. Alright, that's pretty good. Here comes a slightly meteor attack out from Mitsuru. And another all-out attack. At this point, we're getting to things that are a little bit more, shall we say, resilient towards all-out attacks, but that's not the end of the world. I'm actually going to go for Brave Blade from Junpei, just because it is a much better source of damage. This thing's main source of damage is going for fire skills, as well as trying to get the party to work against itself with Charm, which of course our two lead characters are immune to that, so we really don't have to worry too much about what this guy can do, especially if he wings the Charm directly at our lead characters. Nice. Yeah, with a little bit of preparation, these fights, even though they are pretty resilient, they are relatively easy to deal with. Once again, another round of rush attacks, and we should be able to finish this no problem. It's going a lot better than the previous fight. Of course, when you can cheese the battle, it is definitely a lot easier. I'm just thinking about the next fight. I might want to switch between the Blazing Fire and the Ice Bracers, depending on the battle. If I know that the enemies are not going to use fire skills, it really isn't necessary to have fire immunity on Mitsuru. Also, just a fun thing to note is that we are getting experience from doing these battles. Not a huge amount, but a little bit here and there, which is always nice to see. And there is a level up for Juno there. And yeah, that's that one. We can get the Absorb Fire card, 10 Scarlet Havocs, 20 diamonds, and if we happen to roll a reward set that we've already gotten, then it can be 5 or 1 diamonds. Diamonds are required for a lot of valuable items, so this is actually a pretty good battle to redo for the purpose of getting a bunch of those. Next up, we have the Chariot and the Justice door, and now we can finally use our go-to party. We will subtract Junpei, pop Aigeson, and she'll be in the prime position to just rotate buffs onto the party as they expire, which is always a nice thing to see. So let's get into the Chariot and Justice battle. We didn't really use... I do have Sibylle equipped, right? Yes, I was pretty sure I did, but always pays to make sure. Actually, you know what? I'm going to follow up on my own advice there, because, like I said, we are not dealing with anything that can use fire magic. Not really any reason to patch out that fire weakness, so let's just get some ice bracers onto Mitsuru. Remember that the, Varna bracers do not stack with Ice Amp, but the ice bracers do. Alright, after several false starts there, we're ready to go into this battle. Once again, this is a guy who can potentially be problematic in the second phase.
Is Justice. Wait, it's Chariot? What the?
It's almost like it's two. Whoops, I accidentally skipped Rufuka's dialogue. Well, it's one that we've already heard. Anyways, we're just gonna be going for some Odin Thunder Rain spam. Always nice to see. You gotta love it, you gotta love it. Pretty nice, pretty nice. Let's see, can we all-out attack this guy? Nah, this one is immune to stumbling from that. So instead, we will just have Mitsuru perform much better than when she was sick. There we go. That's the kind of damage I like to see. Aegis has a pretty potent option at her disposal now, too. God's Hand. With the Giga Power Band on her and a decent enough strength stat, we should be able to deal pretty good damage there. Here comes some Arrow Rain. Yeah, we'll definitely want to have Yukari on hand for healing. And honestly, I may want to throw up some attack mirrors here as a preventative measure against getting absolutely annihilated by that Arrow Rain. Because remember, if that crits, that can very easily just ignominiously fold into a game over for us. Let's have Mitsuru use Bufudyne, and I'll have Aegis throw up the attack mirror for us. Still doing pretty good damage here. Yeah, let's throw up the attack mirror. If they happen to split on this next turn, that'll actually work out pretty well for us.
Here.
I have 10 attack mirrors, which should be more than enough for any of these fights that we're going to be getting into. Has recovered Poison Mist. Now remember, this is actually an ailment that we're vulnerable to. Do I have something with Salvation? Mayhaps. I don't think so. And I don't think I have anything with Amrita either. Which, yeah, this is just unfortunately something you have to deal with. It's poison. The Tome of the Void does not cover poison, so I'm just gonna run through my skills again real quick, see if I happen to have anything that can treat this on the entire party. If I don't, I believe I have some Amrita waters. Let me think here. Would be best to have the Femseed dispel this for us. Let's see, do I have Amrita waters, or is that in... Yeah, I think that was in FES. Getting caught by that every single time. That's okay, though. It's not a big deal. We'll just do rounds with Dispoison. Unfortunately, we do not get Amrita Shower with Yukari in this version of the game. Would have been a really nice thing for her to have, but not really something that we can take advantage of. That is okay, though. It's probably going to be the last turn for our buffs, which, again, is fine. We're just gonna have Aegis rotate through, getting them set back up on our party once her turn comes around.
Hey, it's separated into two.
I know, that's crazy.
I see now. The vehicle and turret.
Why am I even listening to this? We've heard this all before. Anyways, we're now entering standard Aegis gameplay procedure. She is going to rotate through all the buffs on the party, starting from Matarukaja. And I will definitely want to have Masugukaja up, because these guys can be pretty evasive. Let's go for the Magarudyne here. We'll have Mitsuru, of course, use her Mabufudyne. We have good multi-targeting options here. One bit of luck that I happen to come into going into Tartarus on this night specifically is that the clock will be cheaper to use, which is always appreciated. We're definitely going to need to refill our party several times throughout the evening here. Alrighty, time to go into the Aegis buff rotation. Starting, of course, with the most useful one, Matarukaja. If I had buffers on the Femseed, I could also have her assist with this, but I don't really feel like that's super necessary. I probably will pick up a Matarukaja user at some point. A little smile coming out, but that is something that we just wall out entirely, so I'm not overly concerned about that. We will give them the Masugudyne. Pretty good, pretty good. Nowhere near as good as hitting both of them with Thunder Rain, but that's not really an option that we have. Get the Maypatra going. Once again, Mitsuru can just default back to using her pretty potent Mabufudynes. It'll be, again, a bit of a grindy battle here, but nothing we can't handle. And hey, at least she can actually hit this time, right? That was not a guarantee we had the last time we were having her attack. I can't believe I didn't notice that. I thought for sure Fuka would inform me when a character is sick. That's the whole reason I picked that night to go in. Another attempt at Mitsuru's life there, but she is hanging in there. I don't really care if the attack mirrors are broken on non-Femseed characters, because the game isn't over if they die. It's really not that big a deal. And frankly, I don't even really need to bother to heal them if they still have their Endure at their disposal. May as well just have them keep up the offense. Take advantage of those mechanics. And then we can finally get Masuka Kaja. We've got our evasion back. Of course, Yukari and Mitsuru, their footwear is so outdated. I still have them on the magic sandals just for the +3 magic, because you don't really get many pieces of footwear that really give you a boost better than that, and you know, it's nice to be able to evade attacks, but it's nothing you can ever guarantee, so why not just go with the thing that, what is it, gives us a guaranteed boost that I can actually take a consistent advantage of. Now we can go back to our single target stuff and be a bit more economical in our approach here. Yukari, once again, failing to compare to Mitsuru's damage here. Those stacked damage boosting passes just make such a huge difference. Aegis's defense diva or buff is expiring, but she is the most durable character anyway, with a good HP stat and the highest endure stat by a mile, so it's really not that big a deal for her if that starts expiring. I might honestly just ignore this. Let's see here. We'll go with the Thunder Rain here. Yeah, we'll take a tick of poison damage there, but they're gonna separate, and I can finish them off with a Mabufudyne or a Magarudyne at this point. We'll go with the Magarudyne. Remember, when they separate like this, they're at 1 HP. Also remember that the gimmick of this fight is that if one dies, it revives the other. That's how this goes, but we've taken out with relatively little difficulty. Alrighty, let's get into rewards for this one. 3,000 EXP, pretty nice actually. And we got an Absorbed Ice card. You can also get 20 turquoise, 10 copies of Justice, and if you get a repeat set, then you can get either 5 or 1 turquoise. Let's heal up the party, and I think we're good to just roll right into the next fight without any more need to heal up. Let's get Sibylle back in once again. And let's take a look at the Hermit door. Something a bit unique about when we try to open this one. You can hear something from inside the door with the Hermit mask drawn on it. Ah, that door. Beyond that door, you'll find memories of that day. You'll likely encounter your friend who's not with you at present. This is just letting you know that if you take on this fight during the month that the Hermit is active, that was the September to... No, that was August to September. The start of September, as a matter of fact. Been so long at this point. You can use Shinji for this fight, but only on New Game Plus. I kind of think they're like hinting at a mechanic where you can use him here regardless of anything, but no, if you're past the point where he's in the party, you will not be able to use him here. Kind of lame, honestly. Let's open the door and get into the Hermit battle. Alrighty, so if you remember this fight, it's a pretty slow and tedious one, where we just, unload on this guy with our best attacking options, and he bombards us with elect skills. Something that is intimidating if you have elect weak people, but of course Yukari and Aegis have patched out their elect weaknesses via weapons, so we are just sitting pretty here, not at all concerned about what this guy is capable of dealing to us, and this is going to be a pretty similar fight in execution to the previous one. I wonder if Elect Break would work on this guy. God's Hand, another nice thing about it is that it has a higher than normal crit rate, so if Aegis happens to get a crit there, that would be so helpful to us, because it would speed up the fight tremendously. Yeah, he's charging up electricity, I know. We've been down this road before, you don't have to remind me. But yeah, this is kind of where I was dreading utilizing Yukari. Honestly, it might have been worth it to take the Tome of the Void off of her, so that she could deal more consistent damage here, but that is okay. One other thing that can be helpful to do before taking on this quest that I didn't bother doing, but completing the Lilith portion of the fusion request from Elizabeth would be a good idea here, because you can... Ooh, wow. That one's actually pretty potent there. We'll have to see if we can do anything to withstand that next time it's going to be thrown our way, because that actually hit harder than I was expecting. I think he just charges up. It's just one turn of charge up, so we can easily just guard the next time. But that actually feeds in what I was saying. Completing the Lilith portion of the side quests, the fusion request side quest, would be a good way to get the spirit bracers, or rather the sacrificial idol, and give enduring soul to the Femc. That way you can survive any potentially fatal attacks thrown your way. Go for another God's Hand here. Will we ever get that coveted crit? Oh, she's fine. Fuka, you're being paranoid there. You know what? While we're just resetting our buffs and debuffs, why don't I switch to Seth and just do a nice Marakunda? Get a little bit more damage going there. Mitsuru still has access to her Endure. One of the annoying things about your buffs expiring is that it's just a couple extra seconds added to your turn, but it probably would be wise to keep her health topped off there, so we're gonna do that. Let's go in for another Bufudyne. Since we've got his defense down, it should still be dealing relatively consistent damage. And we always want to make sure we have that Rakukaja up, because now we know the full extent of the damage that charge attack can deal to us, we're definitely going to want to be guarding it on the turn that it comes out. Nice big defense boost for the party. Mega Delown coming out from this guy, but this is always easy enough to deal with. We can just have Yukari. Oh, wow. That was unexpected. How unexpected. That is okay, though. We've got Balm of Life on deck to deal with that. Just use that on Yukari. We're probably going to have to use some of our items here, then. I got to use a bead chain to make sure... I do have bead chains, right? They gotta be here somewhere, right? Yes. 2. Man, should have bought some more. We got plenty of Somas, though, and I only really need, like, 2 of those for the final boss, so that's fine. I'm just doing that to be absolutely safe there. I don't want to risk Yukari going after the boss, and we no longer have her to heal up the damage. Again, this is kind of an annoying thing you have to deal with Yukari. She is just not very durable or strong. Alrighty, so go into the defense there. Now we have a more consistent turn order coming up. Let's go back to Cert there. Not for any particular reason as far as defense goes. Honestly, Odin would probably be the smarter move. But I also couldn't keep up the offense if I went with Odin there, so that's why it doesn't really feel critical to me to do that. Here comes the next Giga Spark with a defense up and Rakukaja on everybody except Yukari, of course. We weather the storm. That's okay. That's okay. I kind of underestimated this guy a little bit, but that is okay also. We've got offense and defense buffs up, so we're going to go for this. We're actually going to have Aegis go for the bead chain here. Just go for the more economical options. We also are going to have to suffer a turn of no boosted defense on both her and Yukari, but that's fine. Here comes the Zeodyne, and Mitsuru is more than capable of weathering that. Okay, so we have to deal with Yukari being at the start of the turn order now. Alrighty. So, I gotta make sure that I'm actually getting some damage laid out on this guy. We haven't really been able to put too much damage out onto him up to this point, because things have just been going a little off kilter. This is the last fight, really, where we have to deal with the guy being overwhelmingly better in terms of offense than our party. So this is going to be a bit of a frustrating battle, but one that I can manage. My Rakukaja coming through from Aegis. Here we go. Alright, what you got for me, Hermit? Take it down. Yukari might get taken out by that again. She just has such low HP. Yeah, like she's just 20 HP shy of actually surviving that, which is pretty obnoxious. I'm going to go with a Revival Beam here. And I'm going to have Mitsuru use Dirahan. This is kind of the annoying thing about how buffs and debuffs work in this game, is that like it's just difficult to keep them maintained. Because you cannot refresh them, unless it's something like Cadenza, which is like a weird niche thing that kind of feels unintentional. Let's see. Oh, I might have actually just made a mistake there and died. Yeah, I did. And you do get a game over for that. Fascinating. Okay, that's fine. I'll make some corrections and defeat all the bosses I've already defeated, and we'll come right back. Alright, I'm back into the fight, and I've made some critical changes in order to make this a little bit more bearable for me. For starters, since we don't really have to deal with mental ailments, I instead gave Yukari an energy ring. A vitality ring would be better, but I never had a reason to buy one in Persona 3 Portable, so I didn't have one. and I did not think to pick it up. Yukari has already exhausted her Endure for this battle, so I'm going to make sure she's guarding there. I wanted to cut in there because one thing you can do to make this battle go faster, as I just showed there, is get critical hits in order to make sure you're dealing the most damage possible. Even though this isn't going to refresh on the whole party, it'll make it much more likely that Aegis survives this incoming charge Gigaspark if I have her Rakukaga up. I'm also making sure that the Fency is set to survive these a bit better. Oh my god! Yukari, how is your defense so terrible? That's a disaster and a half because it puts her back at the start of the turn order. It's just what we're gonna have to deal with, but it is getting really, really irritating if that's happening. But we'll manage, we'll manage. One thing I can do to make sure that I actually survive consistently, though, is switch to Odin on the Fency to make sure that she is able to if nothing else, survive this guy's biggest attack. And honestly, I could actually win the fight that way. I'm actually going to use the Soma here because my SP is getting rather low and beaten down. But I could just stay on Odin. The only thing I'd have to worry about at that point is he can Mind Charge and Megidolaun on your party. That definitely deals some nasty damage, and that's what actually chewed through Yukari's what was it? Her first... Ooh, the Spirit Drain is nasty there. After I just restored so much of my SP as well. Here is Yukari on the first turn. I'm actually not going to have Yukari bother with, what is it? Using Garudine, because she has a chance to get a crit if she uses her bow, so I may as well just fish for that. It's a lot less damage per hit, but if I can get an all-out attack, that'll more than make up for it. Let's see here. Mitsuru or Bufudine here. Another option you have for mitigating this guy's damage is hitting him with Matarunda, which I probably should do more often. My buffs and debuffs are all staggered now because of just the awkward situations I've been finding myself in this fight. Like, I'm not sure why the Fency is off-kilter with the rest of the buffs and the debuffs there, so that's kind of annoying. Let's see, he's going for a Megidolaun here, possibly a Spirit Charge. Either way, it's going to be something that's nasty. So we want to, I've got Throne here, just because he happens to be something with Matarunda. And he's got enough defense to survive anything this guy throws at us with Velvel Maruga in tow, so that's the option that I'm going with there. Mitsuru can still chew away at this guy with Bufudines. He has a ton of HP, as you can see there. Like, look at my buffs and debuffs are all staggered now. It's so weird. I'm in a really awkward position with how everything has happened to fall. And here comes the Megidolaun, like I was expecting. Also got the Spirit Bracers on the Fency. If she gets unlucky, that'll allow her to survive this. Fortunately, was not a concern. Like I said, all my buffs and debuffs are really staggered now, so I'm in a really awkward position of trying to juggle this guy's damage, but we'll manage, we'll manage. Let's get over to Cert and actually deal a little bit of damage to this guy. Every 500 damage we can get out onto him is going to help a ton, so we'll keep up with that. I may as well, since my buffs and debuffs are all staggered, have Aegis use Masuku Kaja. Every dodge we can potentially get also helps quite a bit here. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll get that Masuku Kaja up. Yeah, even with the weakness nullified and the extra HP, Yukari is still just getting absolutely rocked by this guy's charge attack. This is a big reason why I really, really dislike Yukari. She is just so fragile. She has such low HP, and her endurance is terrible. She takes tons of damage. It's just brutal stuff all around. Really, really hard to manage against this guy. It's an ordeal. Aegis, thankfully, has a much easier time surviving due to her really high endurance. Let's see here. What are even my, let's see, can I even check my, buffs and debuffs on everyone? It's not really any way to manually check that in this version of the game, so I actually don't know what everybody's situation is when it comes to buffs and debuffs, so I guess I'll just fish for a God's Hand crit and see what happens. Okay, nothing there. Another Spirit Drain coming out from this guy, but I'm not overly concerned about that. I've got plenty of Somas at this point, and I'll have to get a little bit of healing out anyway, so it's not really a big deal. As I was saying, this guy, lots of HP. It is going to take some time to actually get this all burned through. Alright, what are we looking at for this turn? Frozen is nice, but it does not actually guarantee crits like it does in Persona 3, or not Persona 3, Nocturne and Digital Devil Saga. So I honestly don't really care that much about it. Let's go for the God's Hand here. And no crit, unfortunately. It's kind of funny that it's Velvel Madruga that's been giving me the generous crits. Here comes a Megilon from this guy. What are we looking at for the damage here? Oh, God! That's a disaster and a half. Let's see here. We'll go for Bomb of Life on Mitsuru. It's a lot more durable, so she can actually hang in there. I'm gonna have to revise my setup again if we happen to die here. Let's have Aegis use the Soma here. And we'll see what's coming out from this guy this turn. I'm gonna have to get the Matarunda back up on him, and I've kind of staggered all my buffs and debuffs here. I'm not going to bring Yukari back in, so let's see. We'll go for... Well, you know what, we'll have Mitsuru just defend there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have the Femc and Aegis work in tandem to get the guy's attack debuffed and our defense buffed. And again, we're kind of staggered here. We can't get Yukari back in right away because she's not going to be able to survive without a defense buff. Man, this specific battle is proving to be a lot more difficult than I remembered it being. It's kind of, a lot of these fights, well, partially it's also I was using a different team that's better suited to this. More durability on a team of Akihiko, Junpei, and Ken, so it's a lot easier to survive that kind of stuff. Or I could just dodge, which definitely makes things a lot easier. Thank you. Okay, let's get the revival bead onto Yukari here. What will I do with the Femc? Let's see here. His attack is lowered, so... let's go with Odin here. You know what? I'm actually going to go for something of a niche option on Odin. Meteorama. I happen to have this on him. This isn't going to be full healing, but should be good enough that with the Matarunda, Yukari should be able to survive anything this guy throws at us, and hopefully we can get our stuff a little less staggered than it would be normally. So yeah, we're slowly getting a handle back on this fight. But hey, this is where things get interesting, when the fights don't go to plan, right? Okay, there we go. That's the energy ring coming in clutch. If she did not have that, she would not have survived there. So that's why I've got that option online. It helps out a ton here. So now we should be able to get something resembling a grip back on this fight. I'm honestly wondering if I should have Mitsuru just fish for crits with her Snow Queen's whip. It's a lot weaker than the Bufudines, but again, if I get that all-out attack, I can easily make up that damage. Then again, that is such a low odd or low chance of that happening. Maybe it's really not that worth going for. So yeah, this one has been brutal for me. I've been struggling to get a handle on this fight for a while now. Granted, this is technically, well, this is only my second try, but been having so many things go wrong with it. Okay, what do we got here? Alright, we are going to have Yukari defend. We've got another Megidalaun coming out here. Actually, yeah, I think I'm just going to go for a round of defend on everybody. And we're going to have, yeah, we're going to have Aegis defend also. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Oh, that's a disaster. Disastrous. That expired at the worst possible time. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I am in a situation here. This is bad. I didn't really think I'd have this much trouble with this fight. Let me rethink my approach to this. I'm just gonna wing an attack. Oh wow, nice. That's good luck there. Unfortunately, there's not really a good way for me to come back on this. We're just kind of screwed here. So yeah, I'm gonna just let this guy kill me. I'm gonna come back with another strategy here and hopefully actually clinch out a win against this guy. So I was probably going to cut the recording and just think of other options I could take here. But would you believe me if I've been rushing this guy for the past 2 minutes and he's just been deciding to heal me? Let's see if I can't get lucky here. I did not know this guy could do Mamudon. That's a very funny option. Also, my Endure has been exhausted, so if he goes Mega Down again, I lose. But he's still electing to charge up my HP every now and again, which is just such a funny thing. So gracious of him with that, with the Giga Spark. I think I found a bit of a flaw in this guy's AI. I am stunned. I just won the AI roulette. So, well, I was going to come up with something smarter. What I was gonna do is I was gonna save, cut the recording, and get a Thor that was item-bearing, and just get a bunch of lightning gloves to protect everyone against Alex, since that seemed like my only real option, but instead he just decided to be really damn dumb and let me just rush him to death, and anytime he had a chance to kill me with Mind Charge Mega Down, he just used something else, and instead let me heal up with uncharged Mega Downs. It was something. It was something. Well, I don't have to cut the recording now. Regardless, we should definitely heal up the party there, and let me also update my save. Yeesh, that was a bit of luck I was not expecting to get, but whatever. We'll take that. We'll take that. I don't have to come back at this at a later night, and we can just keep on rolling. Next up, into the Fortune and Strength door. Gonna want to make some changes to my setup here. Once again, I'm going to want the Tomes of the Void on Yukari and the Femsi here. Ideally, the energy ring should not be as necessary this time. That guy also has the most HP of the bosses we're going to be facing by far, so this should generally be a lot less painful going forward. Obviously, we'll want Sibylle again to get our buffs and our auto buffs back in. We are good to go with our team for the rest of these fights, so let's just keep on going. Okay. So, if you remember how the Fortune and Strength fight goes, until we defeat Strength, we cannot attack Fortune. Strength herself is immune to, all-out attacks, but regardless, I'm still gonna go for Thunder Rains with Odin, just because it makes, it juices up the God Hands that, Aegis can do. The most threatening thing that Strength has against us is her multi-targeting physical attacks, so that's why I'm going to throw up Attack Mirror, just to make sure that Heat Wave, or whatever else she can use in this version of the fight, does not crit us to death. And then we are just going to go to town with our best attacking options. Again, none of the bosses have nearly as much HP as Hermit did, so we should be fine to just chew through her at lightning speed, if you can forgive the pun there. And here comes the Wheel of Fortune. Thankfully, the Wheel of Fortune is pretty easy to deal with in this version of the game. I think it's just when the blue one passes the center, that's when I want it. That should put panic on them. Yeah. I'll keep her from doing... Oh, the shock actually guards her from the status effect. That's kind of funny. Yeah, this is a version of the game where there's no, like, status effect hierarchy. Instead... Ooh, nice. That also speeds up the fight considerably when that happens. Yeah, I guess, or Fuka, I know. Where the wheel stops is what the wheel does. We got that. So yeah, I can just throw up attack mirrors to really deal with this fight. I've got plenty of diamonds, so after this evening, I can go back and get a lot more. Thankfully, once Strength is down, this fight starts to go a lot faster because Fortune is vulnerable to all-out attacks, so we can easily just Thunder Rain him down. If we can get Ma Tarukaja going, or Ma Rakunda going, that'll speed up that leg of the fight considerably. Wheel of Fortune. Alright, what are you gonna go for again? As long as it's nothing that hits us, we should be fine. Okay, I think I was a little late on that one. Oh, nope, I was fine. Timing isn't super consistent, but generally you want it as the blue thing for what you want is passing the top and center. Another God's Hand coming out from her. I only want to re-up the attack mirror if there is no reflection on the FMC. Again, just like the fight with Chariot and Justice. I'm only super concerned about it if the FemC is vulnerable to being crit down. I probably could have done more damage with the Garudine there, but I honestly don't care. So we'll just keep on going with this. Another Bufudine coming out from Mitsuru, and it's nice to see that the boss is already, well, at least this particular boss is already half dead. Wheel of Fortune! We can start getting some damage against her, well, that would be nice. Doesn't look like the game is being that agreeable with that. Okay, I think that was it. Yeah, there we go. Once again, the Tome of the Voids also do a good job of protecting us against these. None of these ailments can stick on the FemC and Yukari, so we're perfectly fine when it comes to that. She's gonna Akasha Arts again. Nope, she's bloodthirsty for Mitsuru. She wants Mitsuru. Alright, so what we're gonna do here now is we are going to switch over to set up Marakunda, keep our damage pretty consistent. I'll have Yukari just use a Dirahan on Mitsuru, and then we are going to have Aigis get Ma Rakukaja back up on everyone. That's the only buff I'm super pressed about having an effect, but I probably will have her also set up Ma Tarukaja. So let's see. Just use a nice, simple Dirahan on Mitsuru there. There we go. Mitsuru is going to still enjoy the damage that she was dealing before, since we have the Marakunda up on her. Go. And once I have the FemC resume her offense, this fight should be back to going pretty quickly here. Maraga Kukaja, here we go. Alright, what you got for me on the Wheel of Fortune? Might actually be an opportunity to hit an ailment on her. Oh, no. But it is an opportunity to up her offense, which would be nice. That should do it. There we go, there we go. I don't even have to bother with Ma Tarukaja. Since it's been a while since we've done this fight, just remember that one nice thing about these buffs on the wheel is that they operate outside the normal limitation where, ooh, that's gonna hurt. Oh, ow! And another one. Another one. Well, that's gonna throw Mitsuru off cycle a little bit, but that doesn't matter nearly as much in this fight, so I'm not overly concerned about that. It's annoying, but it's not a big deal. The big problem Mitsuru is going to have to contend with right now is that the damage she's taking is going to be a lot higher now. There we go. Get some good damage going. Get some Arikarm onto Mitsuru there. Yeah, Mitsuru's going to be taking more damage there, but that's not really that big a deal. Let me see here. I'm actually going to have Aigis go for just a normal Pierce attack there. Man, that's not even that far off from what God's Hand is doing. Yeah, it's just unfortunate how low Aigis' strength is. It is just disastrous for her. Really limits her ability as an attacker. She just doesn't compare to Junpei when it comes to physical damage. Alright, what's coming our way? I would like her to Akasha Arts again so that we can reflect that at her. Vile Assault coming out, and that's not really nice, but whatever, it works enough. We should just need a couple more rounds of combat to finish her off, and then we'll be good to go. There we go, Strength is shot. Another Bufudine. Oh, actually, is Mitsuru... Okay, that's not completely off cycle. It's not ideal, but that's better than going before the FemC, I suppose. Yeah, the way turn order reestablishes itself when you reorder characters is really obnoxious, honestly. And pretty silly in how it's structured. Wheel of Fortune! It'd be nice if he was doing the, let me see. I'm actually gonna go for, refreshing our defense buff. The nice thing about refreshing the defense buff is that Mitsuru will be back in cycle since everybody's going back to the same length on their defense buff. Alright, what's coming from her? She decides to wing a God's Hand at Mitsuru. It might be bad, but that's, you know, just what you gotta deal with. Vile Assault instead, that's fine. That is perfectly manageable. Let's go for another Thunder Rain here. Chip her down once again. Strength is shocked. I guess we'll just go for the Bufudine here. And then once it is Yukari's turn, we will actually use Media Rahan to get everybody healed up a little bit. And now that I know that God's Hand isn't really that much better than Aigis' normal... well, God's Hand looks cooler, so we'll just keep using it, why not? Man, it's just so disappointing seeing how low Aegis's damage is in the late game. There we go. That is strength totaled. Now we're going to be getting into the much faster phase of the fight.
I detect Fortune again, so you can attack that one now.
Cool. Thank you, Fuka. Wheel of Fortune. I'm gonna keep saying that.
That's just not right.
I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you, Fuka. Fuka's great. That's not right. I also love her other version of the comment. That's not fair. He really does not appreciate the cheating coming out from the Wheel of Fortune. Regardless, this is why it's good for Mitsuru to be in cycle with the team, because now we can just pop off Thunder Rain, and then I can shut my brain off for a minute. I can just hit Rush. It's nice to be able to take it back to these simpler versions of the fight.
The enemy's down. Let's finish.
Indeed, Mitsuru.
All by my hand.
Alright, hit the all-out attack there. Not too bad. Not quite the same damage that we were getting from before. Enemies do have like a sort of almighty resistance that determines how much damage they're going to be taking from all-out attacks. And I'm guessing these late-stage ones have a bit of a better resistance in that regard. You're not exactly going to expect to see the same numbers that you get against normal rank-and-file enemies on these guys. Regardless, this still makes the fight a lot simpler and a lot easier at this stage.
That's not fair.
Fuka, you're delightful. Okay. I think I got that. Oh yeah, almost dead center. Not quite perfectly, but still good enough. Good enough for my purposes, anyway. Alright, what is the status of our buffs and debuffs? I feel like that, yeah, the attack is gonna start wearing off. We're just gonna go for the Thunder Rain here, and then I'm gonna have, Aegis, refresh Mata-Rikaja on everybody once her turn comes around. Oh, that is one thing that Mitsuru is a bit off-cycle with for everyone else, I suppose. Or wait, does she not have that? No, she doesn't have it at all. I'm getting mixed up here. I'm losing track of so many things. Or maybe she does? That's only expired on the Fantasy thus far. Well, a little confused there. Regardless, we've got this fight in the bag, more or less. Let me turn off Rush so I can get Mata-Rikaja back on the Fantasy at least.
I cannot lose.
Let's see, is it just expired for her? It's just expired for her. Not really sure how the turn order has fallen that's resulted in that. Oh, hey. Novel. Oh! Well, I did not see that coming. Whoopsie. Alright, I got us back to this point in the fight again, and I had a bit of a brainwave. Instead of having anything that's resistant to Garu, instead we can just throw up magic mirrors to bounce his own spells back at him. Whenever I need to re-up that, obviously I can just do so. So we'll continue on this fight as we were before, and hopefully take down this guy in relatively short order, coming into it in a much better situation. I also want to take him a little bit more seriously. As much as I'd like to just pop off constantly with all-out attacks, it's probably in my best interest to actually get my buffs up, so that's what I'm going to be doing with Aegis. As you can see, our defense buffs are expiring, so I will need to re-up those. If we're lucky, the Fortune will give us the wheel of buffs and debuffs again, and I can passively reboost my attack or lower his defense that way, but it's not a huge deal. Once we get to this stage of the fight, as long as we have that insurance against Magarudyne, and frankly, I only had a problem with that because I'm using something that happens to be weak to it. Yes, that is a weakness in Odin's armor there. Maybe I'll actually get a Resist Wind card from the antique shop, because I have an excess of the gems to get those resistance cards. Oh, hey! Speak of the devil! I actually wasn't planning on getting this right here, but hey, I'll take it, I'll take it. So we want the blue defense drop. I don't know if I timed that right. That might have been a mistake. Ooh, I think just barely? Yes, okay. It is where the actual pointer is. I mistimed that one pretty badly, but fortunately it worked out for us regardless. My attack buffs are going to be expiring now, but we're still going to be dealing relatively similar damage this go around, so let's just have Yukari hit that.
Here's our chance for an all-out.
And we're going to keep the rush up so that Mitsuru also just goes in for her attack. She'll have a slightly meatier attack against this thing with her Snow Queen's Whip. Also, I'm noticing that their attack buffs are not expiring, which is a little concerning to me. I'm not sure how, but I think sometimes the way this fight transitions might screw up the order of the buffs. Or maybe I'm just missing something here. Regardless, let's get the attack power buff up. That's more valuable to the FemC anyway. Yeah, okay. There must be something screwy with the turn order in this fight when strength goes down, because nobody has died. Oh, hey! That's another option that he has there. That's a good thing to keep in mind. I think what I'll do is I'll have Yukari just throw up a attack mirror for us. That'll give us enough protection. I do actually want to keep a decent supply of attack mirrors for the next battle that we have to do. Because if you remember, the Hangman loves to use stuff like Akasha Arts and God's Hand, so it's a good idea to have attack mirrors up at all times. 5 should be plenty. If he has around the same HP as these bosses right here, should work out just fine for us. We'll have Aegis finally rejoin the fray here and use a God's Hand, get a little bit more damage going. Looks pretty nice for her when she gets a critical hit and has all these buffs and debuffs in play, though still doesn't really compare well to the FemC or Mitsuru. Although, in some fairness to Aegis, the reason Mitsuru has such an advantage here is because I've stacked so many damage boosts on her, so it's not entirely Aegis' fault. You're right, it isn't fair. So nice that I'm able to just give Aegis stat boosters in Persona 3 Reload. Plus, she's just a more competitive fighter all around in that version of the game. Alrighty. Presuming my Thunder Rain does not whiff, we should actually win this turn. So let's give him the last blast of Thunder Rain. There we go. And we can just rush this one out. Yeah, there goes the attack buffs there. They got staggered in a very weird way, and I'm not really sure what happened there. There are some strange things that happen in some of the fights in this game. Regardless, yeah, that's looking pretty good. With the attacks, I mean, Mitsuru didn't expire either. Yeah, it's, something screwy happened here. This game can be a little buggy sometimes. Not as overt as some older games, but there are still some mistakes that crop up with the order of operations for things in this game. Nice, I guess got the kill there. That's that guy down, and we're almost done with this. Wow, that was actually a really generous experience. I wasn't expecting to get that much, but you know what? I will appreciate that little bit of extra power going into the next fight. That one actually made it worth my while. So we got Absorb Win there. There's a couple other sets of items you can get, of course. One is 20 pearls, or the most important one, if you're going for the bonus boss, and I will have to fight this boss again on my own time to get this, you can get 10 infinities. These are necessary to have for the ultimate bonus boss of the game, so absolutely be sure to get those. If you happen to roll a repeat set, you can get 1 pearl or 20 pearls. Pretty nice if you're looking to farm for stuff that requires pearls. We're almost done with the Full Moon Shadows here. It's been a bit of a lengthy ordeal to get this far. Fortunately, we're close to the end of the fights where we have a ton of HP to burn through, although that's gonna be funny for one of the puzzle fights that we've got coming up. So let's see. Got Sibylle equipped. I'm just thinking, do I want the Tome of the Void on Yukari still? Do I want to give her back the energy ring? Yeah, I think we'll roll into this. Let me actually save real quick, though. Alright, in case anything happens, I saved up and I did a little bit of healing there, so now we can finally take on the Hangman once again. Here we go. Now, if you remember, this first phase, all these things are neutral to win, so with Norn at our disposal now, we can easily blast through them at once. If I don't finish them off with Norn, Yukari should be able to help us out a little bit there. So let's go with our Magarudai. So funny to see such a light skill list. Oh wow, these things are a lot more durable than compared to when we fought them originally. Now, there is actually kind of an interesting special condition we have to keep in mind for this fight that I'm going to be going for. Let's see here. What do I want to have Mitsuru do? You know what, for the first time, I'm actually going to use Mind Charge. Now remember, Mind Charge literally just doubles the strength of the next skill you launch, which isn't too useful most of the time. However, when I'm planning to have Mitsuru not attack anyway, I may as well have her throw it up. Got a summon coming from the Hanged Man here. And this summon is actually critical for something that we need to have happen later, so keep it in mind.
It summoned another shadow.
Ooh, that's no good. Was not expecting that much damage to come out from them. That's okay, though. It's still...
For some reason, those stats, they must
Yeah, I know, Fuka. We gotta knock the statues down. Maybe I should have given Yukari the energy ring. I wasn't expecting that much damage to come out, truth be told. Yukari's low endurance is continually proving to be a huge problem for me. Wish it wasn't so, but it is something that we have to contend with on a pretty regular basis. That is okay, though. We'll manage. So, obviously, first order of business is to heal everybody up. Yukari is once again going to be running into some struggles trying to survive. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention to which spell this one used, so I'm just gonna have Mitsuru do a normal slash attack there. And this is gonna send the Hangman tumbling on down.
within reach. Attack.
And unfortunately, because that shadow is there, we don't get the free all-out attack on him. But hey, that's okay. Actually, what I'm gonna do here... No, I'm gonna go with the Akasha Arc. I was thinking about getting the attack mirror set up there, but I want to make sure that the, Oof. Yeesh! That was spicy. I did not expect that to be so strong. Oh, goodness. Maybe I should have thrown up the attack mirror. There goes Yukari. Alright, we're going to have to, do some emergency, corrections to the things we got going on here. This, I might have underestimated this battle. That is okay. I can just come back for this one at a later date. I have not. We can move on to the puzzle battles, and we can come back for this one later if I can't beat it. But I want to give it an honest try. Let's see. Let's have Mitsuru heal up Aegis right over there. There we go. And we'll have Aegis throw up a attack mirror for us, which will give us a little bit of defense against what these guys are doing to us. I might end up needing a few more of these, though. Now, the tricky thing is, to get the reward I want for this fight, we do have to let something specific happen. Alright, that's good. Armed and ready. Okay, do I let this go? Turned into a bomb.
Just attacked its ally?
Yes, it did. Let's see here. I think I know what I want to do. Let me just think real quick. I'm actually going to have Yukari just guard here. And our buff should be expiring this turn, which is a little inconvenient, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little defensively this time. Let's get thrown out. We're actually going to throw up the Matarunda here. The special condition we need to fill to get the reward I want is we actually do need to let that guy explode. He's going to run into us in a suicide attack, and I'm going to have Mitsuru also just guard here. And you need to let that happen at least once in order to get the special reward for this fight.
Persona!
Would have been nice if I was able to... I should have thought to set up the Matarunda earlier. Oh well. Anyways, this guy is primed. Sacrifice is coming out. We did the best to mitigate the damage that it's gonna do. Oh wow, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay, we're fine. You're making me all worried for nothing, game. Anyways, he's gonna summon another one. We're in much better standing now, so that's, okay. I think this is gonna be doable. It's a little annoying that Yukari is at the front of the turn order now, but that is something that we'll be able to manage. So, and it's actually very fortunate for us that Mitsuru has her Mind Charge up. That'll help us out quite a bit here. So we don't need Norn specifically. What I'm going to go for is Odin, actually. And I do want to keep up the pressure on the Shadow on the side, so we're going to be throwing out Maziodynes instead of Thunder Rains to start. If we can clear out that Shadow and focus our fire on the Hangman, then I'll be using Thunder Rain. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. That's very, very unfortunate there. Regardless, let's get Matar Kaja set up. And I'll think about if I want to set up Masuku Kaja. Another slash attack, bounced right back at that guy. Let's see, God's Hand going at Aegis there. That'll speed things up considerably when he's bouncing those back at himself. I will want to throw up another attack mirror. Again, we're just going to keep using these as we need them. Hasn't exhausted the Femsies attack mirror yet, but it's better. We've already used up a couple of our Endures, so it's better I just have this in effect already. Alrighty, let's go with our Maziodynes here. Nice, nice, nice. Let's whack this one right here. Ooh, nice. That's very fortunate, actually.
Out of my way! Don't leave the job unfinished.
Okay, I was hoping that she would finish it off with a crit. But, unfortunately, was not able to get that. Let's go with God's Hand on Aegis here. Will be victory by inches that we have to secure, I'm afraid. Alright, that one's going at Mitsuru, but that is a-okay. I am fine with that. Now we can actually start putting up our single target offense, which will help us immensely in speeding this fight up, really. Although I don't think we can knock him down with crits from Shot. Would make things a little too easy for us, but hey, let's have Mitsuru be the stress test for this. Yeah, just a little too easy, I'm afraid. They wouldn't let us get away with that. Let me see here. I actually am going to throw up Masuka Kaja, since it'll give Aegis something of a defense buff to help her out a little bit. Alright, what's he gonna do here? Alright, he's going for another summon. That is a-okay with me. I'm not overly concerned about that. You can bring up your praying ladies, no problem. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually going to have, because I know how strong those spells are, I'm actually going to have Mitsuru use her turn to throw up a magic mirror on the team. That'll give us much greater degree of defense against those, which is obviously very appreciated. Once again, we will revert to Norn and use our Magarudyne to pop off against these things. Now granted, we're not going to be able to get the all-out attack on him once again, because, what was I going to do? The Magic Mirror, right? They'll be nullifying the spells that get bounced back at him, but that's not a big deal.
Here.
Yeah, throw up that Magic Mirror. There is a chance they'll try to double tap someone, which would be frustrating, but again, it's still manageable. As long as it's somebody like Aegis, who is reasonably durable. Plus, we have the accuracy and evasion buff up now, so that is another avenue we have to survive that. Here comes an Agidyne. Okay, and yes, they just block those spells. Bufudyne. And then finally, Zeodyne. Looks like that's going to be hitting Mitsuru raw there, which is okay. Alright, we're going to have another little guy thrown our way. It is a bit unfortunate that I'm not able to take them out before we have the opportunity to drop this guy. But it is better to just drop him right away so we can actually keep the offense going. Alright, go for another Magarudyne here. Okay, ooh, that's actually pretty rough. What I'm gonna have Mitsuru do here... Actually, that's a toughie. I'm gonna have her Hierophant here. And we're going to have to suffer some damage coming out from them, but that is a-okay. Let's go with the Mataru Kaja here, get our offense back up, and hopefully get these guys all defeated around the same time. Okay, another Agidyne coming out. That exhausts Yukari's mirror there. Here comes a Bufudyne. Ah, Yukari, your terrible endurance every time. Such a pain to deal with, but that's okay. Nice, nice. Okay, he's going for another summon here. Looks like we're gonna have 3 of these things coming up now. Bit unfortunate, but again, manageable. Alrighty. I think what I'll have Mitsuru do is revive Yukari. We should be knocking down this guy this turn. Oh, come on! That's dumb. Bad luck, but that's okay. These things happen. Let's, ooh. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to really kill it. You know what? Actually, instead, let's go with the beat chain here. I'm going to have Aegis do Akasha Arts instead. This is going to be a lengthy battle. We're going to have some problems here, but that's okay. Now, Akasha Arts has a pretty good crit rate, so if we're lucky, we might get an extra turn here. We were not lucky. Very unfortunate. Ooh, and I don't have her Blazing Fire on, so that's another source of damage that we just have to weather, and I die. Okay, let me think on this one. After thinking on it for a bit, I just don't think I really have the stats to defeat the Hanged Man right now. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to do the puzzle doors now. Then, on my own time, I will create a separate save. I don't want to do what I'm about to do within the file that I'm going for the final boss. I could probably, if I cooked up a good enough strategy, defeat this guy fair and square, but I don't really have the time to dedicate to that. So instead, I'm just going to grind up the party a little bit on my own time, and we'll have at the end of this video, a reattempt with stronger party members that should be able to take him out. For right now, though, let's do the power door instead. You can hear something from within the tightly shut door. Hall of the themed Battle of Power. You will go into battle with your normal stats adjusted. After the battle, these stats will return to normal. Open the door. What the game also doesn't tell you is that we're going to get a preset party and some preset personae. And hey, Shinji! It's so good to see you again. Sorry, I kind of rebounded already. Well, we'll just say he's only in here in spirit. Hey, my maid outfit is gone. Anyways, we've got the Might Guardian, the Strength Guardian, and the Power Guardian. Now, like I said, these battles, these theme doors, are puzzles, and this one's a bit unique in how it goes. So, these guys have all power charged, and if at least one of them does not take any damage, one of them will uncork a power charged Vorpal Blade at us. Don't worry, that's not as scary as it sounds. Now, they are only vulnerable to physical skills, but their weaknesses rotate around each turn. Luckily, there's a pretty easy pattern to figure out how we can go about this. So, oh, okay, normal damage with that. Oh, damn it! Are you kidding me? They're on not direct commands. That's oh, it's just Shinji. Okay, let's have Mitsuru set up a mind charge. Okay, that was gonna be annoying. Like, I wouldn't have never thought to check that. Note that we also have some items here. Set up an attack mirror in case you ever have to suffer any misses or mistakes, because that will save your life. As you can see, we get 5 chances to save ourselves. Okay, so they're waiting to see what happened. Power Guardian's atmosphere changed. Ditto for Might Guardians. We're just going to focus on one at a time. Okay, let's get my tactics here, because I definitely need direct commands of Shinji to make him do what I want him to do. So, once again, we're going to wing an attack at the Might Guardian here. It's normal damage once again. So, what we're going to do here is have Shinji power charge. And what we're waiting for is we want to see the slash attack actually get absorbed. It sounds a little counterintuitive, but trust me, it is a good idea to do so. We can also set up breaks on them in order to use our magic attacks against them, get a little bit of extra damage against them. We'll do the same for Yukari here, and just have her and Mitsuru work together to deal some damage to the Might Guardian. It's gonna be a bit of a slow battle. Oh. That's interesting. I must be misunderstanding something about the instructions, but it's not a big deal. Okay, that's what we want to see. So now we're going to have Shinji use his God's Hand on him. Very real chance that we could miss here, so be mindful of that. There we go. And then just have him use God's Hand again. And this is just how we're going to be doing this fight. The Might Guardian is dizzy. Let's go for Bufudine on him now that he is nice and broken. I'll definitely have Yukari heal up Shinji there. What the heck? Did I use it on the wrong one? I must have used it on the wrong one. That would explain why that just happened. No wonder I got hit with the counter-strike there. Oh well. These things happen. Strength Guardian's waiting to see what happens. Other Akasha Arts. Okay, I'm clearly screwing something up here. What am I doing wrong here? So let's see here. Concept is the target. Take out one out when you do this. The other 2 enemies will sit back and wait, as indicated. Remember, okay. I think, yeah, just attacking in general is causing a problem there. Oh, well. Well, actually, that's good. What am I talking about? We want that to happen, because Shinji can definitely deal a lot more damage. Okay, so I guess the ladies just are meant to sit around and do nothing, which, you know, is fine. We can live with that. It's probably when we get around to these guys being defeated that we can have them actually contribute. Otherwise, they can just sit there and look pretty. Alright. Get that Media Rahan up. Let's see what happens this turn. Okay, he's waiting to see what happens. He's going for the power charge? Okay, okay. So you kind of get how this fight goes, honestly. It is going to be very, very slow, so I'm just going to take care of this off-screen. I'll cut in as I clear out these guys, but the idea is you only want to be attacking one of them at a time. The guide here said you could do elemental breaks on them, but that seems to prompt a counterattack, so I wouldn't recommend it. I was thinking on it for a little bit why that guy is spamming Akasha Arts on it, and it just dawned on me. It's because Shinji used Deathbound to start, and that activated his attack pattern, so now he's countering everything. Let's see here. Oh, I wonder, just out of curiosity, if I hit him like this, does that stop him? Okay, yeah, if I hit him, it causes his atmosphere to change. Thanks for messing that up for me, Shinji.
Ready for this?
Alright, we've got our first of these Guardians down. Fortunately, I'm still I'm still managing, even though one of them was activated prematurely. I think this should hit him? Okay, there we go. So yeah, now I have to grind this guy down while his atmosphere continually changes. So yeah, this is not the most entertaining fight, but we'll make it happen. So another thing I noticed while going through this fight, whenever their atmosphere changes like that, that also undoes any breaks you've put on them. I was really confused by that earlier. I thought I was attacking the wrong one, but no. What actually happened there is that, of course, after I put the brakes onto him, his atmosphere had changed. Okay, so that actually gives me a good idea of how I can go about this. Once they are downed like this, I can have Mitsuru and Yukari throw up their brakes and do a whole bunch of damage the next turn. So, okay, that's pretty cool. Granted, we do have a very limited SP to work with, so that's another thing I have to keep in mind. By the way, I didn't go over it earlier, but you do have a variety of personae, and because of bad luck, I have used up all my attack mirrors, but Raphael right here has Tetrakarn. Incidentally, also, Abaddon here has God's Hand, so he allows us to also keep some damage on this. Do we have any SP restoratives here, like any Somas? Yes, we... Oh, wow, 5 Somas. That's actually surprisingly generous, all things considered.
This ends now!
Last one!
Alright, we're down to the last one, and the fight gets a lot simpler here, because now we're going to be able to mix in all-out attacks with the rest of our offense here. Let's see here. I just want to check real quick. It has the resistances weak listed here, so it is... Yeah, it's only when it absorbs Slash that it actually has a weakness for us to exploit, so that's unfortunately something we're just gonna have to wait around on, but that is a-okay. Let me get my mind charges and my power charges set up, since, again, this is a situation where we actually get to utilize the doubling effect to something meaningful when we're waiting for this guy to actually let himself be vulnerable. It'll actually allow us to capitalize on more damage at a single time than if we were just alternating between casting the charge and then, okay, that's nullified, so let's see here. Yeah, I think our only option is to hit him with a Pierce skill, which unfortunately Shinji cannot do, so we'll just have him guard in case we get unlucky. Ditto for Mitsuru there. And then, of course, if you have Yukari miss, then you just have to suffer a reprisal. Okay, there we go. That's what we like to see. Let me see. Would it be better to go for the all-out attack? I kind of want to see how much damage the all-out attack does, but it might be better to just unload on this guy. Actually, you know what? No, it probably makes more sense to unload on this guy, so... Yeah, I was going to go for the all-out attack, but I realized once Shinji's turn is passed, we're not really able to do anything with that, so it's not really worth going for it. So yeah, I'm just going to grind this guy down again, but we're almost done with this test. It's not particularly difficult. I just had a bit of an unfortunate thing happen with Shinji being on AI control by default, really screwing up how this fight is supposed to work. I don't think this fight is possible with AI companions, because they just would constantly attack the things and put them into an aggravated state.
What a tough bastard.
I command thee!
Alright, Good work, Mitsuru. Nice when she's able to put the closing touches on that fight. Since it is a puzzle battle with a predetermined party, we do not get any experience for it, but there are some cool rewards to be had. Let's see, we get a power charge card from this. Alternatively, we can get a King of Swords card, 10 King of Swords cards, in fact, 10 Queen of Swords cards, and if there are any repeat sets, then we get the rather underwhelming reward of a Snuff Soul. So yeah, a lot of the repeat rewards from this one, not so good. Next up is the Magic Door, and thankfully, this one is much, much shorter. Hall of the Themed Battle of Magic. You go into the battle with your normal stats adjusted, blah, blah, blah. So it's just going to say the same thing every time. The game does not deign to give us any hints here. Alright, so this one is very straightforward, actually. What we're going to do is we are going to bring out Raphael, we are going to set Makarakaran, and then we are going to have the rest of our party rush here. This one's kind of interesting with how this one works, so like I said, we're just going to rush here. As you can see, nobody's dealing any damage here, but once these guys start to go with their attacks, there you go. So our goal here is to actually get our party killed and let these guys bounce the Hamon spells back onto themselves. If they happen to use a normal spell, we can just bounce it back with Makarakarn. And this fight can go on for as long as about 7 turns, but if you're really lucky, it can be over in 2 turns. Okay. Unfortunately... Whoa. Almost made a mistake there. Always make sure to turn off your rush there. But yeah, we're just waiting for this guy to cast Hamon again, and then bounce it back into himself. And the reason Raphael is so good for this is once the entire party is dead, if they die, he is innately immune to Hamon spells, so he can bounce that back after the Makarakarn barrier gets broken, if it comes down to that.
The battle's over.
Pretty easy one, though. Much quicker one as well. You get a Mind Charge card. Like the previous door, we can also get some stat cards, in this case, King of Wands and Queen of Wands, 10x for each set, and a Snuff Soul if you happen to pull the same thing over again. Now, this one coming up, the Resistance door, this one is kind of unique and kind of weird, honestly. This one has a very, very particular script you need to follow. Luckily, the guide I'm using has an exact list of actions you can take to generally get the fight going the same way every single time. It's a bit lengthy, but we should be able to do it. This is probably the weirdest puzzle in the game, so this fight requires you to take very specific actions, and more to the point, not counter specific things that these guys do right here. If you do, you will prompt a team wipe attack from them. As you can see, we've got Yukari, Akihiko, and Mitsuru to work with. Alright, so what we want to do here is, we want to go Raphael here. And then we actually want to use Sexy Dance. That will allow us to bounce the, clear the Makarakarn and allow Yukari to use Magarudyne. One of these guys is weak to wind, so that will allow us to blast off 2 turns in a row. Luckily, we also have access to some Discharms in our inventory. If the Femc does not get hit, we want to Masakunda these guys now. The Femc can evade the charm if you're really lucky, and if that's the case, you can have Mitsuru speed the battle up a little bit by throwing out Mabufula. Or Mabufudyne, rather. Where's my Discharm? There is my Discharm. What a messy order they chose for this. Now, we're gonna see these guys throw up their buffs. Do not counter, you have to be very particular about how you counter these buffs here. Alright, now we are going to switch to the Femc, and we are going to switch to Sandalphon. We're going to throw out Magarudyne, and then we're going to have Akihiko when we get to his turn. We're going to have him throw out Marakunda. But you don't want to clear all of the buffs these guys have, or you will run into problems. Alright, Magarudyne. Some of the dodges coming out are just things that we're going to have to deal with. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I want to use Marakunda here. And then we'll have Mitsuru Mind Charge after this. Okay, do the Mind Charge.
This ends now.
Now this is looking pretty slow, but there is a trick coming up to this. So they are going to hit us with every single debuff this turn. More than anything, do not counteract this. You need to let this go. Now this is where the fight can swing a little bit. If we miss the Wind Weak Samurai at all, that can cause some problems. Okay, that's a miss there.
Please, I won't lose.
Okay. Okay, got him. That means that we're more or less still on script here, so that's fine. Okay, let's see here. What do I need Akihiko to do here? Need him to do defense down again. If we've been doing a very particular order of actions here, this should go the way we want it to. Now we will have Mitsuru throw out Mabufudain. Okay, not bad. They're gonna slash, and if you are on the script properly, they're gonna miss here, and you can counter with a all-out attack, and if you've got the double defense down on them, huge damage coming out. That's a bit unfortunate, but that is also just perfectly fine. Next, we need to, once again, just go with Magarudyne on, okay, that was a miss. Let's go for another Magarudyne. Okay, that's good. As long as we're getting that one dizzied, that's all good there. Let's see, okay, that one's dizzied. Let me see here. Now we are going to have Akihiko do Masakunda on these guys. We're going to have Mitsuru throw out Mabufudain here. Don't worry too much about the damage that she's taking. Again, these guys interact in a very, or act in a very particular way. Let's see, Foul Breath onto the Femsi, and then Poison onto the Femsi. Don't remove that poison. You need to leave it in place. Let's see here. We will have the Femsi use Magarudyne, and then we're going to have Yukari use Meidirahan on the party. Okay, Meidirahan. But if you remove the poison, that is another one of the things that prompts a rather nasty counter attack from these guys, so don't do that. Yeah, this is probably the weirdest of the puzzle battles, and I'm not really sure how you're supposed to figure this one out. Again, I've just got a script here that I can follow that will allow me to win more or less every time. Okay, here comes Foul Breath, and that's going to be poison onto Yukari there. Again, we cannot go against that. Okay. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that Mitsuru would do that if her Endure has already been exhausted, but that's fine by me. Okay, so let's see here. Alright, once again, we want to go with the Magarudyne here. Okay.
Now's our chance.
Let's see here. We are on the second set. I'm just trying to, some of these turn lists are a little repetitive, so I need to keep paying attention to where I am. Fortunately, the debuffs are expiring on us now. Once again, we'll get the Meidirahan up. Okay, so we're on the second poison there. Want to scroll down a little bit. And then, once again, we can just have Akihiko and Mitsuru go for another set of Maziodynes and Mabufudains. And it's nice to see those debuffs expiring, because they'll allow us to deal a lot more damage. I am probably going to go off script from my guide here, because I think we're going to defeat some of these guys ahead of time. I think this guide is just written for if the absolute worst case scenario happens. And another Poisma coming out onto Akihiko here. And he is too tired to get up, so let's see here. Once again, we just want to do Magarudyne here. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just go with another Magarudyne here. Okay. And then we can go with Maziodyne and Mabufudain from Akihiko and Mitsuru. Yeah, I think we're going to be coming well ahead of time on this fight here. This Mabufudain might actually finish this guy off here. Oh, not quite, not quite. Okay, Foul Breath coming out. Another Poisma is going to be thrown our way, but that is perfectly manageable. Okay. And this guy is going to come out. This will honestly work out pretty nicely for us. Tarakaja, okay. Let's see here. So this is what we're on. We're on turn 8 here. What I'm going to do is the Magarudine. Okay, not bad, not bad. And dizzy this guy again. It is always weird when this fight starts to go off the script that I have provided for me. That's that guy taken down. Now let's have Yukari heal us up here. And let's see, going forward, these guys are going to do, let's see, Stagnant Air, Poison Mist, or Power Charge. That should be easy enough to manage. Now we can just pop off with our Maziodine and Mabufudines here. Okay, Mabufudine. There is another opportunity for these guys to miss coming up. Okay, there comes the Power Charge. If the fight goes on past this turn, I believe there'll be another set of misses coming from these guys, but we're probably going to defeat them before that happens. Oh, whoops, that was the wrong option there. I actually wanted Yukari to attack there. We're also almost out of SP here, but that's not really that big a deal. Okay, we will go with Maziodine. Okay. And then, I don't know what these guys' physical resistance are, because I've never really gotten into that situation, so I'm not going to even bother testing with that. Let's see here. As long as this guy doesn't have an AoE physical attack, we're fine. Oh, nice! There comes the miss, and we get our all-out attack, and we win. Yeah, if you can tell from my confused cadence this entire fight, it's a really, really weird one. Regardless, once you have a script for it, it's very easy to win. The main goal is that I think it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to just endure what they do to you. Speaking of, we get Enduring Soul there, and the next set of cards, once again, 10 Kings or 10 Queens for Cup cards. Next up, we've got the Speed Door. And this one has something interesting about it. The only person we're going to have for our team in this one is the Femc. Alright, so this is, let's see. Oh crap, I didn't pay attention to what he did there. Okay, Power Charged. Okay, starts out with Power Charge. What we're gonna do here then is just defend right out. We have to... was that Mind Charge that he started with? Okay, I was on the wrong script there. Okay. Let's see here, let's see, he uses, damn it, I did the wrong thing. That was a mistake. Okay, hold on. I'm actually going to, just start this over. I screwed up there. I wasn't paying attention to his first action. Now, if you die in these doors, you don't get a game over. You just get booted out. So that's a nice little bit of generosity with these doors. Let's open this door up and try again. And this time, let me pay attention to what the heck he does here. Okay, Spirit Drain. Okay, so... don't need to do anything special here. We just have to, slash attack. There we go. Then he'll go with a Zeodine, and we'll want to counter with a Gale Magatama.
Here.
There we go. And then at that point, we want to switch to Sarasvati here. And we can use a Garudine on him. So yeah, the gimmick of this fight is that he's going to be changing up what he does every single turn, and you just have to hit him with the appropriate counter. Okay, what we want to do here is switch to Pyrojack, but not launch an attack with him. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Shock Magatama that we have, and then we're going to heal up with a bead right after.
Good choice. The enemy is down.
There we go. And then use the bead right there.
Here. The enemy's
This guy is going to use Agidine on us. At this point, obviously, we want to counter him with ice, so we'll use our Frigid Magatama. And if you're paying attention to the Persona list there, you'd notice that we had Jack Frost in the list, so we're going to switch to him next, use Bufudine, and conveniently, we are going to be able to perfectly respond to the next spell that he's switching into, because he's going to hit us with Bufudine next.
The enemy.
Alright. And we are perfectly fine there. Once again, we will use a Magatama, our last one that we have on hand. And then we will switch back to Pyrojack and use an Agidyne. And get some nice damage going there. There we go.
The enemies return to normal.
Coming up next is a God's Hand coming out. A little scary, but not anything we can't handle. What we want to switch to next is, let's see here, we're looking for Mothman. We got a pretty funny skill on Mothman right here. We've got Primal Force. Hit this guy with some huge damage. There we go. And next we're going to want to defend.
The enemies return to normal.
Okay. And then I was interested to see how much damage that actually did. Next, we want to switch to Saki Mitama, who's got a pretty good, pretty interesting option here. We've got God's Hand. Okay.
The enemy is
And
down.
we are going
Now's
to
your
want
chance.
to use a bead here.
Here.
Next, he is going to switch over to Primal Force. And we are able to perfectly counter that with Narcissus, who, in the theme of whacked out skills here, has Brave Blade. So hit with that, and we win.
No shadows detected. The battle's over.
For our efforts in this one, we get the Spellmaster card, and once again, you get sets of stat cards, 10 Kings of Coins or 10 Queens of Coins. Next up, we have, and finally, for right now, I'll have to come back with a, we're going to be cutting after this door, and you'll be seeing a recording that was done in the future. We've got the Luck Door. This is a pretty interesting one. It's an unassuming door, and once again, this is another solo FemC fight. We've got a pretty interesting thing here with the dice. So, this guy is going to use 5 different skills. Mahamon, Mamudon, Megadalaun, and then 1 and 2. Now, you could just keep this is a fight where our options are a Jack Frost with Hamon and a Pyrojack with Mudon. And we could keep just spamming those skills and fishing until we get lucky and hit him. But what we want to do is we want to defend until he gives us a number. 1! Okay. So if he does that, we can switch to Pyrojack and use Mudon. That is actually, fittingly enough, very lucky.
Summon you.
Because if they give you the number, then this works guaranteed. If he gives you a 2, then you can use Hamon with Jack Frost. And again, you can alternatively just spam Hamon and Mudon until you eventually win. For clearing this, we get an Arms Master card, and on repeats, we can get 20 Homunculi, or 3 Homunculi after that. Another important door to do if you're going for the bonus boss. Now, we've got one final door, but unfortunately my team is just too weak, and I don't really feel like cooking up a strategy that'll allow me to win. It would be a very slow and grindy battle. So what I'm going to do is, on my own time, I'm going to grind up the team, and this is going to be a separate file that I'm saving, that I'm using for the bonus boss. So I'll grind up the team, and I will beat this guy down. Probably, I imagine, having everyone around level 85 to 87 should be good enough. And fortunately, there is a way that I'll be able to get myself there very quickly. Something we'll be going over in a video after this one. But yeah, that's something I'm going to have to take care of. So man, I'm having to stitch together 3 different recordings. Wild. Alright, after some preparation, now for Hangman Round 2. Zoe got a little bit higher level than I would like, but it's kind of inevitable because all of my characters' levels are just a little desynced after needing to train up Akihiko and Junpei. However, everyone is at a much more manageable place right now. Yukari is level 83 with considerably more HP and defense to work with. Well, not much more HP, but between the level scaling and just having a little bit more endurance to work with, she should be fine. Since she's already covered up her weakness with the source bow there, I'm going to give her the Vayu Bracer so she can deal more damage against the statues alongside the Femc. Mitsuru, I decided to patch out her weakness this time. This will give her a little bit more safety when we're dealing with the statues. I guess is the same as always. That Giga Power Band should make Akasha Arts a little bit better for the moments when we can cast it. With that taken care of, let's actually get into this battle and try to win it for real this time. I actually probably could. pretty easily win this fight with my normal setup of Akihiko, Junpei, and Ken. Just more durable characters all around, and having Akihiko as a dedicated debuff bot is a lot more useful than having Aegis as a dedicated buff bot, just because I never have to deal with a character getting taken out and messing up the order at which everything expires in and how I reapply everything. That's just how I feel about that kind of thing. It's generally better to spread out the job of buffing up the party between the main character and Junpei. That's my preferred way to do it, but if you feel that Aegis has her own merit that's as equal to Akihiko, hey, that's more power to you, my friend. Anyways, we now have a lot more power to work with, just due to the raw level advantage more than anything. Though, obviously, having access to stronger, or rather better stats across the board on the party is also going to help us out a little bit. Again, we will go for Akasha Arts here. It would be beautiful if we could get a crit on this. Akasha Arts does have a good crit rate, but Aegis herself has a pretty low luck stat, so it's not really something you can always bank on. And, of course, as we'd expect, he's going to do his summon. I will want to get attack mirrors set up. It's also a good idea to have something that has Tetrakarn in order to cover yourself against the Akasha Arts, and there we go. Blazing Flame coming in clutch quite nicely. And if they decide to try and double tap Mitsuru, so much the better.
And those statues feel similar to that floating shadow. They must be
Yeah, I get you. I guess, let me see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have the Femsi do the Magaru dying here. Tack some damage on that little shadow, but I do actually want to keep him alive for the time being. Yukari, since she is by far our weakest damage dealer, she's the ideal one to set up the attack mirrors, so even though I could pop off a little damage on the Hangman here by having her go with the Garudine, I'd rather get the defensive effects up right now. We've only got 5 attack mirrors to work with, but as long as we're keeping our damage consistent this go-around, which we should be able to, then we shouldn't really have too much to concern ourselves with. Remember that little guy there is immune to ice, so not really going to concern myself with getting that going effectively. We will have Aegis just God Hands. We do want the little guy to explode at us, as that is the requirement for getting the best reward from this fight, or something akin to a best reward, really.
Please return to normal.
And looks like he's going for another summon here. Is he summoning more statues? Yeah, more statues. That's fine. We are about to hit the point where our buffs are going to expire, which always puts us in a bit of a precarious position for the fight, but we should be able to handle it this go-around. Again, much more HP, much more raw defense to work with. The little shadow there is probably going to die, but I'm not overly pressed about that if it happens. This guy is going to be summoning several more throughout the battle, so we'll be able to have plenty of opportunities to get that explosion requirement. Once my buffs do expire, I probably will switch over the Femsi to trying to utilize debuffs as well, such as Matarunda, in order to protect our HP a little bit. Once again, this is one of those situations where Mind Charge is genuinely useful. The main target of Mitsuru's aggression is protected at the moment, so we may as well have her just rev up an attack. I'm actually going to have Aegis just heal herself here. I don't want her to get too low on HP and potentially lose her Endure early on. So while I could potentially, if I get lucky, kill some of these statues with Akasha Arts, I don't feel the risk is really worth it, especially since she just eliminated her own evasion there. Yeah, still pretty heavy hits coming out here. Another summon is going to be coming our way. What I'm going to do here is use my Garudine to take out these statues, or at least try to take out. If I can get at least 2 of them, that's good. And then we're going to have Aegis up our defense. Defense buffs, always the most important thing to have up in good condition. You definitely never want to be taking the full brunt of damage here. That'll take out the statues, well, most of the statues. It might actually work to my benefit if one of them stays alive, because that gives me more opportunities for him to prime one of those things to explode. Obviously, we're going to want to have Yukari heal the party. That's going to be her main function, since she's just an easy Medea Rahan bot. I could have the Femsi do it also, but, you know, since Yukari is here, like, man, just look at that. Like, I did actually notice that Yukari does have slightly more endurance than Mitsuru, but because Mitsuru literally has more than 100 HP, compared to Yukari at most levels, it's just, she definitely has the durability advantage here. I'm just looking at my options here to see if there's anything particularly good I want to use. Not really. So, what else can I have Mitsuru do, honestly? It's not really much going for her when she isn't able to attack. I guess I'll just slash this guy and tack a little damage on him. Why not? Alrighty. Let's get our defense boosted back up. Would be very nice to do that. Like I said, the ideal thing for him to do here would be to prime one of these things for explosion. That would be very, very helpful to me. There's the attack mirror. Going for another summon here. Is he getting 2 of these things set up? Yeah, it looks like we got 2 on deck. Alright, what I'm gonna do here is, I'm actually going to have the Femsi. Let me see, I should have something that with Mataru Kaja. I'm pretty sure I pulled out a Raphael just for that purpose. We'll have Raphael, Mataru Kaja the party, get our offense buffs back in play. I'm actually going to have Aegis go for a Akasha Arts here to try and take out some of these things. We'll just have Yukari. Actually, you know what? I can, since the Femsi is the only one damaged here, let's have Yukari use the Magarudyne. Well, a bit of an unfortunate miss there, but that's okay. Down goes the king. Let's see here. We'll go for the Bufudyne on him. Get pretty close to 700 damage there. Benefit of getting that attack buff up. What I'm gonna do here is, I think I'll have Aegis go for the Diarahan on the Femsi. Make absolutely sure she doesn't get taken out here. Alright, there goes that attack mirror. And it's nice to see that those normal attacks aren't dealing the absolutely gigantic damage they were before. Ah, goodness gracious, this guy's not being helpful. I want him to prime one of these things for explosions, but he just keeps deciding to summon up more statues for me to deal with. Bit annoying, bit annoying. But we've got our attack buffs up, and yeah, I think I'll try and have the Femsi and Aegis sort of trade this responsibility here of getting certain buffs set up on the party. Alright, let's see here. I'm gonna go for Diarahan on Mitsuru here, just to keep her in good condition. Maybe I could have gone for a Mind Charge there. And now I'm actually gonna have Aegis go for Akasha Arts. You got 4 targets here, so there's a decent chance of a crit coming through. And yes, we did get it. And remember, since this is portable, Aegis actually gets an extra turn there. How nice. I like that little comment from Yukari there. You don't get to hear those too often. Bit unlucky there, but we've taken out 2 of them, so that's beautiful in its own way. Maybe I should have had Mitsuru do the Mind Charge instead. Let's see, here comes a summon. And just another one of these little guys coming out. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for another Magarudyne here. If we can get this guy to do, like, a more persistent attack against us, that would be just delightful. I do need to get some of my, another attack mirror up. No all-out attack, because we got the little guy there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get up the attack mirror. Even though Mitsuru does not have the Mind Charge, her Bufudyne is still going to be a lot more effective than Aegis's, well, anything. So I can just have Aegis top off her HP, which is going to be a good idea anyway, because there you see the defense buff is starting to expire. It's going to completely deplete on the entire party next turn, and I'll have to have Aegis re-up it. Now, if this guy could just, get the stupid thing primed to explode.
The enemies return to normal.
Okay, here he goes with Akasha Arts. Whole reason that we bother setting up the attack mirrors. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh my god. This is why I hate critical hits in this game so much. Are you kidding? How is he getting so many of these? Oh my god. That's a disaster and a half, and there wasn't really anything I could do about it. That sucks. That's okay though. We'll be able to weather the storm here. We are going to have to get another, let's see here. Let's look at our turn order. Yeah, we're going to have to set up another attack mirror. Yeah, there's just nothing you can really do about that in portable. Sometimes the bosses will just crit your ass to death, and you have to suffer it. It's very frustrating. Now my turn orders are all, my buff orders are all staggered. But whatever, we just gotta deal. So frustrating. Really, just screws up the entire progression of the fight. I'm gonna use Sama Rekarm here with Yukari. If Aigis' turn comes around, or action comes around in this round of combat, we can have her set up buffs again. Let's see here. What I'm going to do... I think I know what I want to do with Mitsuru there. What we're going to do here is... I can't check my own buffs and debuffs. We're actually going to play a bit more on the cautious side this round of combat. We're just going to Matarunda everything here, make them nice and weak so that they're not too threatening. There we go. We're going to have yeah, they're going to go first, so what we're going to do is we're going to have Mitsuru here use a Soma. And now we kind of just have to pray some of these attacks get winged at people who are immune to them. Which, not my idea of an ideal strategy, but good enough. There goes that guy. Go for, there goes Aigis. Should take a couple hits. Hey, nice dodge. Heck yeah. Alright, not too bad. Just going for another summon here. We're going to try and get some damage tacked onto the statues now. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Ma Rakukasha, get everybody's defense back up. I'm going to have the Femsi go for a Ma Garudine, and again, we're kind of forced into taking this a little bit slow due to that disastrous string of crits. We'll have Yukari just Media Rahan the party here. And remember, don't be afraid to use your really good healing items like the Somas. I think for the final boss, you only need really around 2 Somas to outlast it in terms of SP economy, so you really should not be too worried about using those frivolously. Alright. We'll get a handle back on this fight soon enough. I'm gonna have Mitsuru Mind Charge here, get that primed for when the Hangman finally falls again. It would be really nice. Like, in the failed attempt, he was very helpful and got the thing primed to explode right away. This time around, and there goes, again, like, if she had just a little bit more HP. There we go, finally! Now I can actually play this in a way that I can just expect that I'm going to be able to get that thing. Also, now we've got ability to make a niche use of Aigis here for Sama Rekarm. Get Yukari right back in the action. Though probably not back in the turn order, unless I'm lucky. I don't think I'm going to be that lucky, though. Fortunately, this guy is also primed to explode when we have all our major buffs up, so we're pretty well set there. Let me see here. Yeah, they're going to go first. You know what? Change of plans. Let's go for the Mabu Fudine here. I don't have to worry about that guy getting killed, because we already know he's immune to ice, and that'll get rid of 2 of these statues here. Now, we can take the Armed and Dangerous, no problem. And once that is accomplished, I can afford to play this fight a lot more aggressively than I had been. Oh my god, Yukari, come on! Please survive an attack. This is ridiculous. Again, this is just why I don't usually use Yukari. She is so fragile. Even when I give her almost 10 extra level ups, she's still dying constantly. I actually considered giving her the energy ring for this fight, just to give her a little bit more durability, and honestly, thinking about it, I probably should have done that, because she is doing miserable here. Alright, once again, we're going to have to dip into our heavy-duty healing items here. I do have a couple bead chains. Note that at this point, opals are not an item if you're willing to refight some of the boss doors, so you can get a good supply of bead chains and effectively have Media Rahan on everyone as far as this version of the game is concerned. Alrighty. We should be able to get a handle on this finally. Let's have Yukari do the Magarudine here. There we go. Defense is reverting. What I'm going to do here, though, is get Matarakaja up on everyone. Particularly, it would be nice to have it on the Femsi, so I can get a little bit more damage tacked onto this guy. And, yeah, actually, you know what? Let me see here. I gotta be more mindful of my options. Let's look at Siegfried here. Yeah, he's strong against strike attacks, so that'll give me a little bit of insurance there. And Vorpal Blade will deal great damage in this fight because we have the great bonus. There we go! That's exactly why I was thinking of that. This should help us out quite a bit. And if this guy decides to waste turns summoning more of these guys, that also is a big help to me. So now let's get an attack mirror up and hopefully start actually making some headway on this fight. Surprised the Femsies hasn't been broken yet. What's he going for here? Okay, that's perfect, that's perfect. So if he's doing that, I'm perfectly fine. I don't mind too much about that. Alrighty, now let's see here. I'm going to have Yukari. You know what? We can probably, while we have the attack mirrors up, if we actually successfully kill the mini shadows, that's a bit unfortunate there, but not anything that is outside of my parameters. As long as we can get the mini shadows killed before Hangman gets a chance to act, we can conserve our attack mirrors for his Akasha Arts. Which doesn't look like I'm gonna get that, but that's okay. So let's go for the Bufu Dying here. I honestly don't mind at this point, since my turn orders are already kind of screwed up because of, you know, just things that I can't really control that much. I'm not too pressed if somebody gets taken out this way through just raw damage, just as long as it's not a crit. I need to actually look and see if I have something with Tetrakarn. If I get another failure of this fight, I will grab something with Tetrakarn so that I have more flexibility in getting my buffs reestablished here. Thank you, Aegis. Okay, I believe using my magic will be a little bit stronger, so I'm gonna actually switch over to Odin. Oh, I was supposed to check to see if I had something that had Tetrakarn. Oh well. We'll use Thunder Rain on him. Actually, Vorpal Blade might honestly be stronger in this situation. Regardless, I'll just do the slightly more economical option here and have Mitsuru go for normal attack into guaranteed crit. Oh, hey, nice. This works out beautifully for me. Alright. Haven't seen any buffs expire yet. Everybody's at full health, more or less, so we can go for the Magarudyne here. There we go. Attack is reverting, so our defense is going to expire pretty soon. Let's go for the Akasha Arts here. Hopefully get a crit on the little guy. If we don't, not a big deal. Now we didn't get the crit there. Let me see. What am I gonna do now? Right, I want to check to see if we've got anything that has Tetrakarn. Let's see, not you. You have, no. Sibylle. No Tetrakarn. I know, this is something I should have checked before I got into the fight, but I was just eager to run it back. Let's see, not you. Not you. Though he does have, if it comes down to it, I can just, wall out, Oh, hey! As a matter of fact, I do have something with Tetrakarn. Scotty with the potential save. We'll have to keep that in mind for, if it, comes down to it. Glad I picked her up. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty long fight. I don't blame you if you're skipping through bits and pieces of this. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, Vorpal Blade is kind of just stronger here. Working out pretty well for me, so I think I'll go for it. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, we'll just go for the Bufudyne here. There we go. Let's go for another summon here. And the statues have finally made their triumphant return. Fine by me, honestly. Alright, attack is reverted. I don't, like, my turn order is so staggered, and I don't know what order all the buffs are expiring in. That is a bit of an unfortunate thing that I'm going to have to work around a little bit. As a matter of fact, I think I might just have Mitsuru set up a magic mirror so we can get stuff bounced back at these guys. There goes the attack on the Femsi, so of course her thing was a little bit out of sorts. Let's get the Magarudyne going on the Femsi. Vorpal Blade is also a perfectly fine option, but I don't want to keep spending HP. So let's do that. And Magic Mirror, bounce some of that stuff back at them. Granted, they only use their own element, so they'll be immune to it, but as long as we're not taking damage, that's the only thing that really matters. Yep, of course, they could just focus fire at one target. Yeah, it looks like my defense buff is expired, which I kind of knew, but I didn't want to dedicate time to setting it back up if we're still on a bit of a desynced turn order. It's tough to get a grapple back on it. It would be so much easier if you could just refresh your buffs, but unfortunately, not until recent Persona games where you really get that privilege. Let's see here. Do I want to just keep up the offense? That's a tough call. But it probably would be smarter to mitigate their offense. So that's what I'm gonna do. As much as I'd like to keep up the aggression, we want to lower their power a little bit. There we go. Good stuff, good stuff. And then, Mitsuru, you can just get a Mind Charge prepped up. Not in a hurry to get these guys killed. We still have some magic mirrors up. We'll have to suffer a couple attacks from the little guy there, but that's not a big deal. Another Agidine. But this time, Aegis is able to weather the storm. Zeodine, that's gonna bounce. Oh, never mind. That's fine. Whenever the camera changes like that, I always get nervous that a critical hit is coming through. That's usually the way that it's communicated. Alright, so what we're going to do here is we are going to, let's see, get our defense up. And we're going to press the offense with Yukari and the Femsi and have Mitsuru use a healing item. This should give us enough defense against anything that these guys are going to throw at us, or try to throw at us. There we go. And right here, I'm actually going to go for the Vorpal Blade, just to try and fish for a critical hit. Might not get it, but hey, it also puts me in a pretty good position for when the Hangman drops down. There we go! Critical hit, like I hoped for. Alright, let's wing yet another one at him. Vorpal Blade coming through. Hey, nice! Get the all-out attack going there. Absolutely, I guess this is indeed some pretty hot iron we got going. Again, it's now that I don't have to worry about him priming one of those things to explode, it allows me to be a bit more flexible in my approach. Alright, what's he gonna go for? I'm gonna do something you probably wouldn't expect here. I'm gonna switch to Scotty and get the Tetrakarn set up. As long as we have a Tetrakarn going every turn, that gives us such a big degree of safety. And honestly, we don't really need to have I guess set up any more buffs until the Matar Kaja expires on everyone, so may as well just try and fish for some of those crits there. Have Yukari actually go for some damage here. There we go. And then we're gonna switch over to Scotty here, and I was just wondering, she does, I think, pick up Absorb Strike, or rather, she has strike skills like Akasha Arts, so I'm just, like, checking to see if she has any resistance to Strike, but not really. There we go. Funnily enough, like, having that on the Femsi is the most important. They haven't really been trying to break it on her. Just kind of funny how that's been working out. There we go. Guy bounces it back at himself. Here comes a God's Hand. Is it winged at Mitsuru? Of course it is. But that's fine. That's within parameters. Let's see here. We should be able to set up the Matar Kaja on most of the party now. Yeah, I figured it was still in effect in Yukari, but whatever. That's just what happens. I want to have Yukari heal up the party anyway, so let's have her use Media Rahan here. And now that we've got stronger Vorpal Blades at our disposal, let's just uncork one. Go for Siegfried here. Gotta remember that my Persona list is getting reshuffled every single time. There we go. Very nice, very nice. If that tricks him into wasting a turn on summoning, honestly, that's beautiful. Nice! Well, okay, the Frozen's kind of useless, but it's just cool to see. Alright, good, good. That's exactly what I want to see from him. Keep doing that. Okay, there goes defense, so I might actually want to slow down a little bit and set up a Matarunda to make sure their attack power, what does get through, isn't super devastating to us. It's always a good idea to err on the side of caution with that kind of thing. You can use a Magarudyne from Yukari, as always, to just tack on some damage to the little guy over there. Let's switch over to Throne and get their attack power lowered a little bit. And remember, we've got plenty of Somas, so SP is not an object in this fight. Man, I must have been, like, way over-leveled when I went for this fight on my practice playthrough, because I don't remember this one being this difficult or this long. But, hey, that kind of is what makes these things exciting, you know? Okay, thankfully, that did not crit on Mitsuru. It also does mean that we're going to have to spend some time getting Tetrakarn back up, but that's okay. My buffs are so weirdly staggered. It's a good thing I set up that Matarunda. We're gonna get back over to Scotty and get the Tetrakarn back up on the party. Give us a wonderful degree of protection. There we go. 55 SP a pop for Tetrakarn is obviously pretty pricey, but it is worth every bit. And again, infinite Somas at this point, or pretty close to infinite Somas. For practical purposes, may as well be infinite Somas. Alright, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to have Mitsuru do a normal attack on this guy, just to see if she potentially gets a crit. That could give us a bit of a leg up in the turn order if she does that. Nice, nice. We're getting pretty good luck with that. Alright, attack is starting to revert. We're going to go for Akasha Arts here. Ah, come on. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Magarudyne, actually, because that'll take out the little guy. Now let me essentially get a free Tetrakarn up. Might even let me get the Femsi able to contribute with an actual attack. Novel concept, I know. There we go. I'll probably, next time I need to heal, just use a Soma, because as you can see, Yukari's SP is getting very low there. Go for a Bufudyne here. Just the best way to tack on some extra damage with Mitsuru. And hey, he's going straight into the Akasha Arts. Nice. Yeah, if he keeps doing that, it'll speed things up considerably for us, so I'm very appreciative of it when he does it. Get the Matarkaja back on everyone. And let's see here. Let's just go for a Garudyne from Yukari. Since our Tetrakarn was immediately popped, we can just set it right back up. It is nice that once his HP starts to go down, he stops summoning as many statues and starts to get a bit more aggressive. Makes things go a little bit quicker when he's just constantly bouncing Akasha Arts back at himself. There we go. Alright, his attack is reverted, sending a God's Hand back his own way. That's an important thing to note there, is that the Femsi does not have a barrier up. Regardless of anything, you want to stop and set up a barrier on the Femsi if hers is broken. Let's see here. You know what? I'm actually, just because our other buffs are expiring, I may as well just set up a Masukasha for the heck of it. If I get a critical God Hand on this guy, it's really not going to matter. Alright, let's get the Garudyne going. And I'm going to have Mitsuru use this turn to set up or use a Soma. Remember, we have to use the Tetrakarn, because we absolutely need that degree of protection from the Femsi. We do have the diving saves from the rest of the ladies, they haven't used any of them yet, but that can't be utilized against multi-targeting attacks, so we really need to make sure that the Femsi is always guarded against that kind of offense that's coming out. Use up another Soma here. We've got 10 to use, so why not? Alright, and we effectively have infinite Tetrakarns. There we go. He's going right for the Akasha Arts. Nice! Yeah, this guy's just gonna kill himself after a while. Works for me. I'll take that, I'll take that. I'd buy that for $1. You know what? I'm not gonna bother to set up Rakukaja until I'm in a situation where he can actually hurt me. If he's just gonna keep bouncing Tetrakarn or bouncing Akasha Arts back at himself, who am I to stop him from doing that? You know? Have at it, friend. Have at it. Alright, after quite a bit of issues, I wonder if there's a limit to how much he can summon, because he's just kind of stopped doing it altogether. And if there is, well, I'm thankful, because this is a much, much easier version of the fight to deal with now. If we were able to get to this point previously, we would have been able... Okay, here we go. Suppose I was a little too optimistic with that line of thinking, but hey. Alrighty, that is the prime time to reset Ma Rakukaja. Exactly what I was waiting for. Let's get that back up. Unfortunately, our Ma Tarukajas are also expiring, so we're not going to have super effective damage against what we're facing here. But that's not a big deal, really. Get the Ma Garudines out. And honestly, I wonder if Vorpal Blade is just better for this purpose. Because again, like, the chance of crit and just the double great bonus really is working out wonders for me. These guys only have single target spells also, so I can count on a diving save if anything goes wrong. Let's have Mitsuru get a mind charge up, waiting for the opportunity to uncork that on the Hangman when he's brought back down. Alright, hopefully they spread these out. Of course. Yukari is just so vulnerable to that kind of thing. Oh, hey, I still have the magic mirror on the Femsi there. Nice. Nice dodge, too. Masukukaja, and even though she has the really weak magic sandals, it's still working out for her. Good to see, good to see. Alrighty, let's have Aigis get that Ma Tarukaja up. Should see a big boost in the damage from Vorpal Blade. Honestly, I should have been considering that option earlier. I'm so used to the original variant of this fight where your best option is easily a amped Magarudine for this first phase. Yeah, I shouldn't even need Yukari to contribute with the damage I'm about to lay out here. It'll also be really nice if I got a critical on at least one of these things, so that I can get a one more on the Femsi. And hey, got it! Ask and ye shall receive. There's even a chance that we'll get it on the little guy once we go again. Oh, never mind. Okay, the game wasn't that generous. That's the kind of thing that happens every now and again. We're fine, though. We're fine. There we go. Nice. Love to see it. Alright. My most vulnerable character has had their barrier destroyed. But that shouldn't be a big deal. Oh, he's going right back into that? Well, fine by me. This gives me a ton of opportunities to actually fish for crits, so you know what? It kind of works out, actually. I'll go for the good old Akasha Arts here. Nice to see that Aigis is actually able to contribute into the fight a little bit. Not getting exactly what she's hoping for, but it works well enough. There goes the little guy. Might see another summon come out, but I'm not overly concerned about it. Let's do the Vorpal Blade here. Hopefully get a crit. If we don't, it's not a big deal. We did get the crit. You know what that means. Same again, really. Oh, never mind. You can't get one more off these statues. Okay. I didn't realize that. That explains why we weren't getting that. I'm gonna go for the Mind Charge here, honestly. I can't remember if that's the Ice Immune one. I'm not super concerned about it either way, but yeah, okay, it was the Fire one, so I could have had Mitsuru just decimate that one if I wanted to. If I wanted to. Alright, some of our buffs are probably gonna start expiring. Okay, there goes defense. That's a little unfortunate, but I might be able to work around that. Okay, we'll have Mitsuru, of course, go for the Magarudine here. I'm contemplating going for a Matarunda from Throne. Might be a smart idea. Yeah, actually, just to err on the side of caution, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna Matarunda these guys. Mitsuru still has her mind-charged Bufudine to chip away 646 or so HP from this guy here. Boy, I'm impressed I'm actually able to have any kind of, like, non-repetitive commentary going for this. Perhaps I've actually improved. Hey, that's cracked the 700 mark. Ooh, that's bad. Let's see what we get here. This is where it's gonna get fun. Oh, boy. Ah, no! Right at the end, too! Ah! Alright, after another half hour of chipping away at this jackass, he killed himself in the most spectacular way possible. Thank you, Hanged Man. This time I just forwent trying to get the little guy to blow up. It just wasn't worth it to try and route it in. I'm just gonna do that on my own time when I am just maxed out level, and it'll be a lot easier. And there's a very particular reason that I want to actually accomplish that task. Also, thank you for the high counter, Singfried. That'll come in handy later. There's a very particular reason why I want to accomplish that task. Your normal reward for winning this, well, one of the rewards you can get is a Victory Cry card. You can also get 20 rubies. On set repeats, you can get ruby times 5, 5 rubies, or 1 ruby. Or, if you let one of those little guys blow up, you will get 10 copies of Armageddon, the ultimate fusion spell that deals 9,999 damage. Very, very effective in a variety of situations. Can allow you to totally cheese the final boss if you want to, although, honestly, the levels you need to accomplish that will probably put you in a pretty good position to do that anyway. This is on a separate file that I have for the purpose of getting prepared for the bonus boss. And, well, it's just all around a cool item to have. It's another way to beat the Reaper if you want to, though it's more effective to just purchase the item from the antique shop for that purpose, if you wanted to go that route. I've been waiting for this. Hey, you're stealing Akihiko's line there. You are a human worthy of me. Now come, let's have some fun. Wait, what are we being invited to? The last door has appeared. After clearing all of the normal doors, all the Full Moon Shadow doors, and all the puzzle doors, Pandora's door opens. This unlocks a Persona 3 Portable exclusive boss fight. You'll also notice that Margaret is nowhere to be seen. I think we can hazard a guess who's behind that door now. Oof! That is it for the Vision quest, though. Unfortunately, I was not able to complete it all on one file. It just wasn't really doable with this team. Like I said earlier, if I was using my standard team of Akihiko, Ken, and Junpei, I'd have a much better chance of beating it with my natural levels. Not the least of which because I'd just have a more evenly leveled team, because unlike the team lineup that I was using, I wouldn't have had to go out of my way to grind up anyone else. Maybe I would have needed to grind up Yukari a little bit, but that's it. But yeah, that's just about it for the bonus content of Persona 3 Portable. There is one more major thing we need to check out that is particular to this version, but it'll also, we also, of course, have the original bonus boss that'll be lumped in a one big grand bonus boss video with this game's particular exclusive bonus boss. Did I explain that well enough? Sorry, I've been at this for a while, so my brain's a little scattered. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.